Welcome back to the Gunn Show, my friends. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to be on this unique podcast. I'm not sure if you can tell where we are. There's a whole lot of orange. We might be branded with our drinks today, and we have two lovely ladies to start the show off. Fernanda is going to be co-hosting with me today, so incredibly exciting. What's fun about today's podcast is we're actually at Expo Manufactura. And so we're gonna do English, Spanish, and Spanglish for a little flair today for all of our friends. So I'm probably the only one on the show today that will not be good at Spanish. Es muy malo, lo siento for all mi amigas and amigos. But everyone else is really great at it. So before we get started and introduce Fatima and Renishaw and the gratitude we have for being here on the booth, which I'll do again, we have to thank our sponsors. We have to thank Tecma. We have to thank the AMT team, Iba Growth Systems, Shop Floor Coffee. Who am I missing? We have so many sponsors these days. I know we can look at the shirts, right? Yeah. MTMA, we love those guys. The list continues to grow. Without you guys, we cannot do this show. We cannot do this show around the world. And with this year being 2025 and the unplugged version, we can film anywhere. Not in a studio, not just online, but anywhere. So today, Expo Manufactura on the Renishaw booth. This is my best friend in the second best friend in the world, Fatima. Thank you so much for allowing us to film this on your booth.
Yeah, I'm very glad to have you guys here. This is your home as well, you know that.
You get to start off. You do this all the time, so you're not nervous at all, right?
No, I'm very used to this.
Yeah.
Totally.
Public speaking, it's not a fear. Excellent.
No.
Well, we have to learn a little bit about you, Fatima. I mean, we know the Renishaw, they're moving behind us right now. They're doing a dance for everyone watching, but for everyone listening, Spotify, Apple, Google, we have to speak vividly because they're just listening, right?
Yes.
But on YouTube, they can see exactly what we're talking about. So, how the heck did you get into manufacturing?
Well, it was something that I never thought about. I was working in an airline before joining Renishaw, so I never crossed my mind to be part of the manufacturing industry. I never heard of machine and anything like that. So I came here like an accident, but I started discovering the world of metrology and machines, CNC, CMMs, and little by little, I started getting to know more about it. And it was like 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago, that I began that journey.
So you started when you were 7 or 8?
Yeah, I was very little.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a genius.
You must be.
Yeah, people wonder how I did it. I don't know.
Fernando, remember, you have to interrupt me because I will hog all of the time.
Okay.
And remember, you're the key to this Spanglish and Spanish stuff as well for the audience out there. Remember, most of my audience is probably an English-speaking person, but we have to have fun today, right?
Okay, perfect.
So make sure you... There, it's already started. Pretty soon they're going to be talking back and forth, and I'm just going to remove myself.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. Do you have any questions for Fatima?
No, I just would like to point out that you were one of the first people who started in Renishaw, right?
Yeah, I was like the number 5 member of Renishaw Mexico, yeah.
And how many is now?
Like 45, 46.
Wow.
Yeah.
She did start when she was like 8 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's impressive. Okay, so you're in manufacturing. You started when you were very young, 7 or 8 years old. Based on the math, how my math is mathing, this is how it works out.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So what do you think of the manufacturing world? What have you enjoyed over the last 12 years now, growing a company, learning about metrology, being a part of Renishaw, and this crazy industry that we're in right now?
Well, it has been exciting. It's never a dull day. Always something new, another challenge, and that's something that I really like, something that I was searching for when I was working for an airline. I was kind of bored, I was like doing the same thing, and I was like, I know I'm meant for something else. I want something challenging, and I got it when I got into the manufacturing industry. I didn't know how challenging it was going to be, I started leading projects, meeting people, and being in a world of men, to be honest. So it has been a challenge, but also a joy to learn more about myself, learn more about all the different industries, meeting really great people like Fernanda, like yourself, and a lot of people that have been able to make connections. So it has been quite a journey that I still enjoy, even if some days I get crazy with the shows and the planning and the setting up. It's like, oh my gosh, but it's fun. And at the end of the day, it's fun and I enjoy it a lot.
Well, you brought something up that I asked Fernanda about semi-regularly, and we talk about fairly often on this show and many of our other journeys through filming, which is, you said, male-dominated industry. And I didn't want to bring it up, but I mean, if we were to pan around this room right now, I'd see two other women at the moment, and this whole booth is loaded. Renishaw booth is loaded right now. Everyone's buying stuff. Don't worry, they're not paying attention to us, so nobody's nervous. But you're right. So what's it like? What's it like being in a male-dominated industry? Because I see that there can be some very good things about that, and some things that could be difficult. And also, would you recommend this industry for other women out there as well?
Yeah, definitely. I would recommend for women to join this industry. I'm happy to keep seeing more women joining. I mean, if you see 3 or 4 women now, there's much more. When I started, there was only myself, right, Fernanda? Únicas mujeres aquí.
I remember I met you like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
And in the shows, we were like 5 girls in 95.
Yeah.
So
so now there are more women, but anyway, it's still for me, I always like to promote women in the industry. Actually, we hosted an event for women in the industry a couple of years ago, and a lot of we invited girls from the University of Monterrey, of Nuevo León, Tech of Monterrey, and they are all very interested in joining the industry, but they all have a lot of questions about how does it work? How can I enter that world? How can I have a balance with my personal life? So I think it's very important for women and for girls that are studying to keep seeing women in leadership roles in the industry and manufacturing, so they know, you can do it. I mean, it's a challenge, but it's not impossible. So for me, it has been very important to be like open the path for all the girls that are coming, and and you can do a lot of stuff, and you don't have to know something about manufacturing in the beginning. I was not in the industry, but I have been learning a lot, and I still keep on learning. So you don't have to know it all. I think for women, sometimes we seek perfection, or we want to feel like we know everything, to feel confident about ourselves. And that's something that we have to, let go and be confident in just what we bring to the table, and not be afraid to make mistakes and learn. So definitely, I will recommend women to join the industry. And yeah, it's kind of challenging more for their leadership role to be working with men, for them to hear you and to follow your lead. They have to trust you. So you have to first be very confident on yourself, so you can reflect that confidence, that authority, and that knowledge to others. I think that's something that is key to develop as women that wanting to join the industry or any other industry.
Yeah, I have one more question.
No, I was going to point out what Fatima said about as women we want to know everything and do everything perfect, but in this industry you cannot know everything. Like every day is different, every day it's more technology, new technology, and it's impossible to keep on track. So you have to stay back a little bit and just accept that maybe you are not going to know everything all the time.
Yeah.
And be amazed of being in these kind of shows where you're seeing a lot of new things and learning, because it's what manufacturing is.
Yes.
It's a path of learning. You're learning every single day.
Definitely.
And it's what makes this job very exciting. Like, this world of manufacturing is exciting because you don't have time to get bored.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right?
yeah, definitely.
Well, I think we're all thinking about the same closing subject, because what you just described was exactly the area that I wanted to play off of as well. And I love you, and I think we could probably talk for... We're supposed to do this for about 2 or 3 hours today, guys. And we're rotating people every 15, 20 minutes. So stay tuned for guest after guest after guest. In fact, the one coming on next is going to be from Schunk. It's Angel. He's coming on very, very soon. We'll go to a commercial break. But the last question I have for you is, it very much pertains to what you just described, Fernanda, which is, I have 7 sisters. So you mentioned the personality of women, and I brought that up because I was surrounded by women, right? And you brought up the personality of women is sometimes we feel like we need to know everything, almost like a perfectionist, in order to feel comfortable in a situation.
Yeah.
But the question I want to ask, because I think also there's added pressure, if you're a smaller percentage of an industry, there's more pressure to know more, because do you feel like maybe subconsciously and not on purpose, but maybe we're judging a bit harsher because we as men, there's so many of us and we've been doing it for so long that you come in thinking, I need to know everything or they're going to judge me harder.
Yes.
Because is it kind of that symbiotic relationship as well? I mean, let me just say, let's not do that, guys, but also it exists, right?
Yeah, it exists. I'm lucky to be working with men that don't have that kind of mindset, but definitely there are men like that. You know that, Fernanda. But I think it's slowly changing. Men are getting more comfortable for us with us being in this male environment. So I think everything is changing and evolving as it should. Sometimes it's not as fast as we would like, but I think we have to enjoy the process and keep going there. Keep going there. Don't stop with any limitations, any fear of judgment or failure. Don't let it stop you. Just keep going and enjoy the ride. I mean, not everything has to be so serious, and not everything has to be so hard, or you can also have fun, and you know about that, right? You know about that.
We're trying to do the fun part along with the intelligent part.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Well, Fatima, I honor your courage and bravery. Thank you for being one of the most amazing women in all of the industry. Fernanda,
thank you.
We're starting this show off. Are you having fun so far?
Yes.
Yeah?
Being with Fatima is always fun.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go to commercial break. Let's thank a few of our sponsors for allowing us to travel the world and do this podcast. And let's bring out one of my superhero friends from Schunk, and let's say hi to him next. Hey there, manufacturers. Need to sell your surplus CNC machinery? Whether it's vertical machining centers, CNC lathes, or machines from top brands like Yazda, Matsur, or Watchon, let me introduce you to Revelation Machinery. If you've never worked with a used machinery dealer before, here's what you're missing. Selling equipment on your own can mean long waits, low offers, and lots of time chasing leads. Revelation Machinery changes the game, bringing nationwide exposure to your machines. Their team is located across the USA, so wherever you are, you've got a local expert on your side. Revelation doesn't just list your equipment, they use targeted marketing methods to get your machines in front of serious buyers. Revelation Machinery is committed to fair pricing, full transparency, and taking care of the details. From paperwork to logistics and even rigging if you need it, they're there every step of the way so you're not juggling any part of the process alone. Ready to let a trusted partner handle the heavy lifting? Head to revelationmachinery.com/The Gunn Show to see how easy it is to turn that surplus machinery into cash with Revelation Machinery. All right, guys, welcome back from commercial break. I hope that was beneficial for you. We have to do that, and we want to do that. We love our sponsors. We wouldn't be able to travel the world doing this, sharing all these incredible stories. Ed Hell's about to share his, but all these incredible stories without our sponsors. So thank you for being a part of that, all of our friends. Ed Hell, do you know Fernanda?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Got to make sure everyone knows we're all friends here, you know?
Yes.
So you come from Schunk, but the Gunn Show, this podcast you're on right now, whether you know it or not, is about humanizing the industry. It's so often that we love talking about products. We feel comfortable just getting into the numbers and the details, and we feel less nervous. But our audience loves to learn about people, the things that make cars and clothes and satellites and airplanes and our phones and all this stuff around us is done by the humans in this industry, right? So I want to learn about you. I know Fernando wants to learn about you as well. How did you get into manufacturing?
Well, I think I start since almost I finished the school, you know, the university. I just started working with my father. His own business. He's doing business with the steel, and I love that part because I learn a lot about the process. I like a lot to deal with people, how they want to do the different process, different products, of course. And in that time, I say, I will be involved in the solution, helping to the engineers and helping to the process to get the specific solutions. And after a while, I start with Schunk. I do a master's degree in Spain in mechatronics 20 years ago. So when
again, these young people, the math is not mathing today.
No, it's into the math, yes. But you know, as soon as I finished the master's degree, I have the first contact with Schunk, and I see the products, I see the portfolio, and I say, oh, this is really, really good for Mexico. I didn't have an idea about the industry, if we really can implement all the portfolio in Mexico. And we start a lot of years ago. And it was really, really, really nice because at the beginning it was really open. A lot of people are really open to know the product, how they work, how they can implement it, and for sure they need a specific solution for their process. And right now it's a boom here in Mexico. I just saying yesterday about the automation process. Maybe 20 years ago it's not so often, so common to see it on the industry. But right now everybody is looking for efficiency, productivity, cost reduce. So all that topics needs to be solved in one solution. And for us, it's like create an environment right now, how we can develop a specific solution for each one. So it's a really nice and interesting part of my job that I love to do it.
Any follow-ups before I steal this whole conversation again, Fernanda?
No, when everything you were saying, I just remember like that you recently had your open house and all this collaboration, all the systems you have, and as you said, how it's growing in the Mexican market right now.
Yes, we started with the collab two or 3 years ago, and it was a small park on the old building. And at the beginning, it was like really surprised because we are only focused in automotive business. But as soon as we start bringing more in different industries, oil, life science, aerospace, a lot of different industries arrive to say, hey, I need your help on this process, specific process. And for us, it was really good. And right now we have really good growth in the electronics. Mm-hmm. Electronics is growing so fast in Mexico. For us, it's a big challenge because they demand two things: 24/7 service, and the second part is the immediately response about this problem. So, but you can do it if you have a huge team that we have it. We have a really clever guys on the service department that they is helping all the time to this industry, support them. And yes, for sure, the collab right now is much bigger, 200 square meters. We have a lot of robots, we have CNC machines there, and we are just open the arms to receive the different validations that the customer needed.
It's impressive, honestly. And I've known Schunk for years. I mean, decades, I think, at this point. I mean, you're incredibly famous. You're the leader in what you do. And when people think of, your area of expertise, Schunk is always the first thought, right? And I have the great opportunity to travel the world often, Angel, and I see a lot of similarities between Mexico and India. India has 1.5 billion people. Mexico has a lot of people, and you've done a wonderful job of focusing on educating your people in the world of engineering. Now, the similarities that I want to describe are, up until recently, I would say the Mexicans and the Indians threw people at a solution instead of automation at a solution. But you mentioned a boom. Over the last few years, both countries, regardless of the 1.5 billion people or the abundance of engineers you have here, and you went to Spain, but here in Mexico, you have Monterrey Tech, amazing schools around the country. You are now realizing how much money and profitability and efficiency can come from automating, from working with companies like Schunk in order to succeed. Are you seeing this transition throughout Mexico as well?
Yes, and right now I think it's even more. I would say it in that way because you see, if the customer wants to go one step ahead, they say, okay, I need to improve the process, I need to save cost, and normally the contracts isn't that way. You need to go step by step, reducing the cost until the end of the formal contract. So we are seeing right now that they are really focused on technology, but they need to develop people so they can handle that kind of technology. They need to have people, really skilled people on programming, on choose the right product. So for us, it's always a really good opportunity to talk about the technology, to learn about the technology, and for sure learn about the process, because there is a process that they are doing right now that for sure they can improve it, but that process is worse. So it's not so easy to find how we can reduce the cost, how we can reduce the cycle time, how we can do more efficient this process, because a lot of people are working in that industry for 20 years, for 30 years with really high tech. You can see here on this show, a lot of companies are coming with a great technology, and for sure it's a challenge always. You know, the competitors is always helping you to improve even the process.
There's a thought that I have based on what you described, and we can say competition, or we can say new companies, or whatever it might be. And I would make the discussion for people out there watching, when you're trying to get more efficient, something that matters to me when I used to run machine shops is, was my partner reliable? That's first check. Schunk is reliable, you are reliable, you're gonna be there for your clients. But something else that we don't think about all the time is, can I get all of, or the majority of my solutions from one provider? So a lot of these new folks out there, they'll have a really great one solution, but then the other 10 things that I need,
Yes.
I have to go to 9 other companies in order to get it. Whereas you guys have been around so long and successfully so long and solved so many problems, not just in Mexico and not just in Germany, but around the world. You've seen the issues, so you can say, come to us. We have all or most all of the solutions in one spot.
Yes, and that is the big part that we are doing on the collab. We have a really good partnership as Renishaw, for example. Always when we have this kind of project with involve some CMM or some products that Renishaw have it, for sure we call him and say, hey, we need to work together on this product. Because for sure the customer say, this is the problem I have it, solve the problem, and then you can come with me.
Yeah.
Okay? For us, it's always a good opportunity to have this relationship.
Also,
Partner.
something I like about the collab is that when you have a lot of different machines as well. So you get the opportunity to your client to prove their solutions in whichever machine they have in their own plant. So you have so many diversity in the collab, so to bring the perfect solution to your client.
Yes, exactly. And we have a lot of technology there. We have a lot of machines, a lot of product to solve that situation. And for sure, the other part that the customer likes is because they don't stop any machine from his workshop. They just say, okay, here is the product. I can go to Schunk and see how do you do that solution for us. So that part is really nice for us.
And now we're gonna close this out, but I'm gonna leave you an opportunity, whether it's in English or in Spanish, totally up to you, to leave a final thought and a final message for anyone who's watching right now that might have 2 things, I would say. 1, they know they need help, or 2, they think that they're doing it perfectly, but we might be able to come in and help you do it even more perfectly, because advancements in technology are happening every second of the day, and perhaps we can come in and help. So any final messages for that audience in English or Spanish?
Yeah, thanks. I will say in Spanish.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thanks. Gracias a todos por el tiempo, gracias por acompañarnos aquí a Expo Manufactura. Realmente, como bien menciona tanto Tony como Fernanda, Schunk busca mucho el acercamiento con nuestros usuarios, no solamente por la parte de conocer su proceso, sino cómo podemos ayudarles con un entorno, un ambiente realmente completo, no solo por la parte de la asociación, sino si tenemos que sumar algunos partners, como lo puede ser Renishaw también, lo hemos hecho y pues la verdad lo que nos gusta mucho es acercar la tecnología a México, acercar la tecnología a la industria y pues que sepan que estamos con los brazos abiertos para recibirlos.
That was amazing. That was amazing, right? It was amazing. She said. Well done.
Thank you,
Very well done,
thank you.
Angel. Thank you so much for your time, Fernanda. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Gracias.
We'll see you again soon.
See you.
Let's take another commercial break, my friends. We'll be right back. What does manufacturing mean to, well, everyone? It's the heartbeat of America. It's the creativity that makes all the things around us. If it's not people and if it's not air, take a look around. It's been touched by manufacturing.
The evolution of the reinvention of the American Precision Museum have preservation, education, and inspiration. And we just want to make a difference in the way manufacturing and machine tools are perceived. It's scary to think what this country would look like without manufacturing.
All right, welcome back from commercial. I hope you love our sponsors as much as we do. You better. You don't have to. Actually, I'm not going to make it, but they are lovable. They're good people.
They are very nice.
I mean, I'm not going to pick a favorite, but I kind of, we don't have any favorites.
We can say that online.
We can't say that. We're live now. Stop the record button. No, okay, we like them all. But we have Hector with us now. And Hector, as you can see, is with FlexCube. Now, as with most things in my life, I prep very little and know very little. So if you've seen this show before, you already know that, which is great because I get to learn about FlexCube with you. And that's the most fun part about it. But before we do that, Hector,
Good.
thanks for being here.
Thanks to you, man.
And we have to know about you. Are you willing to open up and share how you got into manufacturing with us?
Yes, that's going to be possible.
Yes, well, I'm excited. So, myself, I don't want to use the word idiot, that's strong, but I will use the word misfit. I am a misfit that accidentally got into manufacturing after getting kicked out of 3 universities. How did you get into manufacturing?
Well, actually, I think it's one of the most important markets, to say like that. It's right now. All the companies sell use drawing in several departments, in several areas. Then, well, the idea is just to start with this kind of idea, how to improve a lot of things in manufacturing, because it's very simple, maybe just to confirm that many ways in old school kind
Traditional
of things,
mindset.
traditional mindset,
Yeah.
exactly, and we're just trying to set up different things to be outside of the box.
Well,
Then-
how did you get into it? Did you go to school? Did you just like robots? Did you find this, is this your company? Did you start the company?
I work for FlexCube. It's not my company.
So how did you get into yourself? How did you get into, are you an engineer?
No, actually no.
Okay, so
No,
tell me about
that's
you.
curious, yes.
Yeah, tell me about
Because
you.
I have a degree in business administration,
Okay.
bachelor degree. Then I just started several years ago in logistics. Then after that, I started just doing a little bit sales. But 7 years ago, Anders Fogelberg, who is the CEO of FlexCube, he just started doing some local research in order to arrive to more people here in Mexico. Because at the beginning, he was the man to come in Mexico and sell. And he called me and he said, Hector, I have a task for you. Then I'm here. I'm just trying to do my best.
Well, we know the next question. Do you want to ask it or me? It's got to be FlexCube, but it looks like you actually had another question.
No, I was just going to like how you find it, because the industry is very overwhelming when you don't come with an engineering background or something like that, and then you start seeing everything like, how the hell am I going to learn all of this?
Yeah.
So I just want to know like how you handle it, like being from another background and coming here today.
Business administration to
Yeah.
manufacturing, right?
Administration, manufacturing, exactly, right.
How challenging it was for you?
Well, it was a little bit challenging, difficult to say like that, but I love all these things. I mean, then when I realized that all these kind of things were totally different compared with I used to be in different ways, in different works. I love it. I love it simply because
It's easy to fall in love with, right?
it's easy and fun. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I have this, I don't know, maybe it's my ego talking, but I have this real pride knowing that the world runs, we are the backbone of the world. We make everything,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
That's kind of an exciting thing.
Exactly.
So we just got to make it more cool for the people out there that don't care, right?
Yeah. You're right.
All right, let's talk about FlexCube. We got to do that. What is FlexCube? You own the business, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Easy. Yeah. Right.
Okay. FlexCube is a Swedish company. It's the headquarters. It's located in Gothenburg, and well, it's a company totally focused in intralogistics for material handling. Then FlexCube provides carts, HVs, AMRs, and well, now we have a little bit more market here in Mexico, but the goal is to change the mindset of welded carts, because welded carts exist everywhere, and this is totally different. This is a concept based on Lego. Then you can manufacture your carts according to your needs. It's based on 7, it's the number, 7 centimeters. You can just configure different sizes, dimensions, and so on. And it's totally different compared with other kind of solutions. Because welded carts are everywhere, every corner, like we say here in Mexico. It's the store is in the corner and you can buy it, yes, but this is totally different because it's compared with the welded carts. FlexCube is modular, flexible, and robust. Then even when you can find maybe different companies with flexible solutions, they are not robust, but they are not flexible. Then we try just to combine everything in just one package.
Any follow-ups before I steal it all again?
Sorry?
Any follow-ups before I steal the whole conversation again?
You can steal the
So-
conversation.
I've been to Sweden, and they have some really long, cold winters.
Yeah.
So they take their brains and utilize it while everyone else is on vacation.
Exactly.
And they're creating some really great stuff. For anyone watching right now who wants to learn more about FlexCube, I guess 2 questions. One is, how can they find you and to learn more? But the first one before that would be, who would want to find you? What parts of the industries? What shops? Who's going to best benefit from giving you guys a look and giving you guys a try?
Okay, well, you can find us here in Mexico. We have a warehouse and a showroom when we can just explain a little bit more about all the concepts. And well, basically when a customer has the needs to have or they have production lines and they need to move material from point A to point B, we are there. I mean, we just provide the best solution in order to move and to improve a lot of things. Because maybe a lot of people are just following always the same thing because it's in the past was to be like that, but now it's different. Then we know a lot of companies, we have been visiting a lot of companies, and we can say that, okay, if this is not useful for you, maybe you need to change and do this. And where we have a little bit more expertise with 7 years. 7 years.
Another 7. Are you going to change that number next year to 8?
Maybe. If the patterns change, that will be maybe possible. But now, I mean, it's great to work with the companies, with the people, trying to implement new things, new mindsets. It's different. I mean, compared with the people is used to always seeing the same thing.
I'm going to leave you an opportunity to have a closing statement in Espanol, so you can really speak to the audience out there watching. But I want to make a statement myself first, and that statement is, hi Marina, you're live on the podcast right now. We just had to say hi to Marina. Marina's been such a wonderful person throughout this show at Expo Manufactura, allowing us to bring on wonderful guests like Hector, and we're even talking about doing bigger and grander things next year, so stay tuned for that. But the message that I want to share with everyone out there is the immediate death sentence for anyone is says, I've always done it that way. If you think that you're doing something in your shop because you've been doing it for 10 or 20 years and you think, why would I change anything? Please give anyone who's come on our show and gonna be on our show, including Hector, a call, because these folks can help you. Bring them into their shop. That is my advice from a person who's been to over 80 countries around the world, traveled for the last 15 years, been to over 1,000 shops and seen darn near, well, I'd say darn near everything, but every day it's something new, right? But that's my advice to you. So in Espanol, Hector, a final closing message, about 60 seconds or so, just to share with the audience how you help them.
Ok, perfecto. Gracias primeramente por la oportunidad de estar aquí contigo, Tony. Pues bueno, realmente ayudamos a las empresas a eficientar sus procesos de logística mediante un sistema totalmente distinto, diferente, y podemos implementar desde las cosas más básicas hasta ir complementando un poquito más y llegar a la automatización en manufactura. Entonces, bueno, contáctanos flexcube.com, un servidor Héctor Flores, tengo un equipo, tanto servicio técnico, tenemos más vendedores en el área y pues bueno, ahora tenemos todavía más oportunidades de crecer, sobre todo en la industria automotriz.
I totally understood that. How'd he do?
Perfect.
Did he drop his website?
No.
Make sure you drop a website.
Flexcube.com.
It's that easy. Hector,
Flexcube.com.
you're amazing. Thanks for hopping on the
Thank you.
show. We
Thank you.
really do appreciate you.
I appreciate that, Scott.
And we'll see you again soon. All the
Sure.
success, buddy.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, let's head to commercial. We'll see you again in just a second.
At EBITDA Growth Systems, we guarantee to double your value in 3 years. Well, instead of telling you about a guarantee, how about if I tell you a story? We had a shop owner come to us at an event saying, I'm not sure if you can help us. He said, we have our credit lines maxed out in our business. I have a second mortgage on my home, it's maxed out. I'm not sure what to do. I have a payroll coming up next week and I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Can you help us? We said we weren't sure, so we came in and we came alongside of him. In 18 months, he went from not having any money to having over $800,000 in the bank and having a 6 times exit what his value was at that day. And now he's living a life that he always dreamed of with his family. And it's fantastic, and that's what's really rewarding for us, and that's what EBITDA Growth Systems is all about. If you want to know more about EBITDA Growth Systems, go to www.ebitagrowthsystems.com, EBITDA growthsystems.com, and go to our contact page where I will reach out to you personally.
Welcome back to the Gunn Show. I hope you enjoyed those commercials, and we are with a long-time and very good friend of mine, Ricardo! Ricardo, it's good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you
Yes,
too, huh?
always a pleasure. We're on the Renishaw booth. Fernando and Ricardo are friends as well. The very, very famous HEMAC company, known for Akuma, but so much more. But before we dive into those details and the history of this family company, we have to learn about how this young man got into it. Now, he's only about 25 years old, so I don't know how deep we can go into this story.
Math will not mathing again.
Yeah, math is not mathing again,
no,
like
no,
always.
no.
Ricardo, thank you first of all for being here. And secondly, let's learn a little bit about how you got into manufacturing in the very beginning, whatever amount of years ago that might have been.
Yes, it's been some time already. I started working with my father after studying engineering, mechanical engineering. And my father used to own a shop, and they used to machine bulbs. So we had at that time a couple of Akuma machines, 2 lathes actually. So I started there training our staff. We had people from Akuma come and teach us how to use the machine. The first one we've got was an LB9W, so it had a W axis on it. So we had to learn how to use the W axis to make our bulbs. And then after a couple of weeks, we've got our LB15 at that time. So yeah, that's how I started. Then I had the opportunity to join the HEMAC family, which was a tremendous pleasure for me. And I've been there for now a little over 33 years.
Impossible.
33 years.
So you were totally fit with EMAG, like knowing Akuma since you were very little and
Yes.
getting into EMAG.
Yes, that is right. That is right. That's how the thing started. I think probably they have me kind of fixing what I broke. But yeah, it's been fun. I mean, sometimes they ask you if you don't get bored, and it's like no time for that. I mean, the market is so active. There's so many applications out there, so many parts, materials, and I mean, it's just amazing. time flies, and it's just great. It's wonderful. This world is just wonderful.
I agree with you. I want to step back, if it's okay with you, even a little further back in time, because did you mention this was your family shop? This was
Yes.
your father's shop?
Yes.
Did you always know, even as a young man, that you were gonna be a manufacturer? Or at any point did you say, I don't want to be a part of that? There's no way I'm getting into like, was it always this growth into what you knew you were gonna be, or was there something else along the way?
No, actually, it was just
Professional soccer player.
I wish. I wish. No, it was really something that happened it was fluent. I guess sales in our family has been always in our blood. And I really enjoy dealing with customers, learning more about people, traveling here and there, and learning more about technology. So it was really something that happened, it just happened the way it is, you know.
I always like this question because everyone has a different answer. And I love asking the women, I love asking the men, but would you recommend manufacturing, engineering for people out there? Because currently there's a whole lot of a generation that has no idea how their phones are made,
Right.
or how their cars are made, and don't know anything about what we embrace our lives to, right? So when it comes to manufacturing, would you recommend it for the kids out there that are in middle school and high school right now?
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is something I would like to be more emphatic into, because many young generations now, they don't know exactly the way the cell they're using is being made. The airplane they are flying on has been made, a turbine or their car. And when you get to see how everything's done, it's so exciting. It's really, I think, honestly, this is what keeps me alive and keeps us alive. You know, going out there and seeing how things are done. Last week, I had the opportunity to visit 15 customers of ours, some of them making dies, some of them making molds, some of them making turbines and stamping components. So this world is just really amazing. It's a never-ending story. I truly believe that there's a beautiful career for every single women or man to jump into this market, to jump into this area. Now we see a lot of students. I love seeing students here. I truly believe we need to show this better to our newer generation. I invite them to come and see. I'm really always happy to have the students in our facilities. We often receive groups of 150, 100 students coming to our facility to come and see and get closer to the technology. And you can see their eyes open wide. See, this is a, great world. So yes, please come, try, give it a try, give it a try.
I think that's, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think that's part of our job, like to awaken this curiosity in all the people, like in all the students. Because as you mentioned that you're very happy to receive students in your facility. I have a sister who is studying engineering and they have never seen a machine before. They are learning to code like by hand. So when she comes to this kind of shows, she's like outstanding because it's like, I didn't knew all this and I'm studying engineering.
Right there.
So I think it's very important to give the students this opportunity to go and meet the machines, all the technology and all what they can be capable to
Right.
create in the future.
I very well remember back in 1994, 1996 when I was responsible for the EDM division at HEMAC. We used to sell an EDM brand from Switzerland, and I used to travel a lot to Chicago where they were based. And one of the things that really catch my attention at that time was that they were looking for young people to come and see and learn what was happening there. And they were offering they were even telling them how much money they could make by being a technician and operating EDM equipment. And to me, that was something different because here in Mexico, still at that time, we had a lot of people available to come and work in the manufacturing area, being not only operators, but engineers on floor. But it really told me something. Something was happening there, and what was happening is they were missing staff. They were missing new generations to come on board and learn the technology and make a living out of this wonderful world. So they were selling the idea, and I said, what do they have to tell them that this is unique? If it is unique, I mean, but they had to sell the idea. And this was back in 1990s. So now we're living the same situation in Mexico. That's my feeling. People out there is so they have so much talent that they can use to learn about the robotics, the CMMs, the machining centers, and so on, the grinding, laser. I mean, the technology has grown tremendously. It's gone to a stage. I mean, back there, if somebody has ever told us before that this was going to happen, I would truly never believe it.
Yes.
I would truly never ever believe that. So, guys, girls, really take a look at this. This is worth believing.
So well said. 3 things that I wanted to bring up, but I loved your question, by the way, and your statement also. Love the word emphatic. Great word, because I feel the same way about it. You also said the never-ending story, one of my favorite movies from the 80s. And then thirdly, thank you for inviting the students to your place to educate them, so that's amazing. Now, let's do some shameless name dropping and promotion. I love doing that. Let's talk about HEMAC. Let's talk about some of your products. Let's talk about your machines. Let's talk about your history, and let's talk about the services you provide to others out there.
Thank you, Tony. You know, HEMAC is a company that's been in business since 1988. It's a family-owned business, and the spirit of the family is there every day. And this is something very unique, and we love that. The company has grown not only to be present in Mexico, we also have presence in Central America and the Caribbean area. And at the same time, we have now new business units. These business units are related with automation, also with all what's related with the CNC machine surrounding components like mist collectors, like high pressure coolant units. And at the same time, we just developed a new business unit for specific applications. So our automation business unit division is called Automatica. Our accessories business unit is called Periphetic. And our dedicated equipment for specific applications is called TechniPro. So this way, we're dedicating the specific staff and the specific technology for the needs of all our customers and friends. So HEMAC has now grown to this. We have an office here in Monterrey. Our headquarters are located here in Monterrey. We also have a tech center in Querétaro, and we have an office in San Jose, Costa Rica to support all our customers and friends in Central America and the Caribbean area.
Are you hiring? Can I get a job at the Costa Rica office?
You have a job for sure. It's there, please. Come on board.
I'm thinking moving to Costa Rica. Yeah.
Now, one of the things that you need to know is we offer 24/7 support, 365 a year.
I don't sleep anyway.
I know that. You're both a hard worker.
Yeah, we're gonna make this work. All right, Ricardo, any closing statements that you want to give to the audience? And I've allowed everyone so far, which I think is a great opportunity in English or Spanish, because we definitely have some Spanish watchers, but the majority of my audience is certainly in English speaking from all over the world. But English or Spanish, any closing statements, any websites, any messages you'd like to share? Because Mexico is booming right now.
Yeah.
The audience that we have, that we're connecting with, always wants to make sure that they're on the forefront of what's new and how they can learn, and anyone that they can work with to make them better as well. So any closing statements, any messages you can offer to the audience in English or Spanish?
Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to say to our audience that, first of all, thank you both for taking the time to talk with us. And HEMAC, again, invites you to come and see our technology. Please allow us to present you with something new, something different, something unique. We would like to solve your entire necessity. En español now, I would like you to also have this one and switch a little bit. Por favor, denos la oportunidad de presentarles una solución integral. HEMAC está completamente listo para servirles. Nos encantaría tener la oportunidad de presentarles una propuesta que satisface todas sus necesidades, no solo en el tema de maquinado, sino también por el lado de automatización y todos los accesorios que complementan la máquina herramienta para hacerlas altamente productivas, altamente rentables. Y una parte muy importante que quiero mencionar es que ponemos especial atención a desarrollar el talento humano. Creemos firmemente en el talento humano. La filosofía de nuestra empresa, our company philosophy is power in the human factor, es darle el empoderamiento al factor humano, que es realmente el que hace la diferencia para que toda esta tecnología funcione de maravilla.
Was
You
very
did good?
powerful,
Awesome.
yeah.
I use her as my translator to make sure everything was said well, you know? Last question I have, even though I already told you we already had a last question, but am I going to see you in Taiwan soon?
Hopefully.
All right, my friend.
My friend. Look forward to
Always
seeing
a
you
pleasure
there.
for everyone watching. This is Ricardo, one of my good friends out there. We're going to commercial break and we'll see you again in a minute.
Hey everybody, Mike Franz here with Shop Floor Coffee. For 20 years, we've been seeing the same issues going on with workforce development and the shortage in workers across the industry. We wanted a way to give back. Shop Floor Coffee is our way to do that. Proceeds from every bag or every type of coffee you buy from us go back to the community. We work with amazing programs and initiatives across the country where we're giving back. We want to help support the community. Come together with us. Join us in this effort to help support the community. Please, thank you very much.
Welcome back, my friends. We are now joined by some great friends of mine from Ace Micromatic, and we're down here in Mexico, but I could have swore I blinked my eyes and I was just in India with Raghu and his team doing a podcast on the largest booth in the history of MTEX, which is definitely coming to you as well. Raghu, how did we end up here? What happened?
Wow, it's Mexico is the next happening market. We have to be here, right?
That is a really good answer. Unplanned and unscripted, that is a really good answer. So now we're with our friend Guillermo. Am I rolling my R's well today?
A lot.
And it's not the tequila I drank, I promise you. I'm getting gout in my foot now. Don't tell anyone about it, but I can't drink the tequila anyway, that's another story for another day. Guillermo, 3 years, I believe, you brought Ace Micromatic here to Mexico, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about, firstly, I want to learn a little bit about you. Is that okay? Can I learn about you and a little bit of your history in manufacturing?
Yes. I am a Mexican citizen, but spent most of my professional life in Europe. I made my degree in Germany, the Technical University of Hanover. Then I stayed in Europe working in Switzerland, Italy, and United Kingdom, always in machine tools. So if machine tools don't exist, I wouldn't exist. So my work,
I kind of feel the same way, actually.
my life is machine tools.
Is that a good thing to say? I feel the same, Guillermo. I honestly do. If they didn't exist, I might not exist as well.
I don't know, but I enjoy it.
Yes. Well, I instantly know, Fernanda, he's way smarter than me. He's named the countries he's worked in. He's obviously speaking multiple languages, way smarter than me. Do you have any follow-ups for Guillermo or Raghu? Raghu's just a pretty face today. I think he's the Vanna White to Guillermo here in Mexico.
Hey, come on.
How has it been for you to bring Ace Micronics to Mexico?
Well, first of all, I have to fight against the prejudice about the Indian machine tools. Indian is not a typical recognized machine tool builder. But I have a large experience with top of the list machine tool builders in Europe. So in Japan, I know them very well. When I visited first the factory, I was amazed seeing a company that could be also in Germany, making machine tools at the same level, but at a cost that is a fraction of very expensive European machines. Being an expert on that, I said, here is a business to do for me and for the country. So it was difficult at the beginning, but once the first customer bought one machine, soon after, 3-4 months again, he bought the second one. And up to now, to make a long story short, that customer has now 20 machines from me. Ooh. And I am kind of single source.
He told me yesterday when we did our interview, nobody buys just one. It's like Pringles. What you eat one, you can't stop. Raghu, I want to spin this a little bit because Guillermo gave us just now a really great understanding of his expertise of machines and being in Europe and what it means to him when he brought the Indian machine, but he made a valid point. And let's be transparent about it. In India, you're not typically known historically for putting out Japanese quality. But something is different at Ace Micromatic. I've seen it firsthand. Guillermo's seen it firsthand as well. The videos we created are trending all over the internet because other people are seeing it firsthand, maybe for the first time. But my question is, when you go to a market and you know that that stereotype exists, but you know the quality of what you're creating, how do you have that conversation with any new person who immediately builds that wall and says, India's not going to be Germany and they're not going to be Japan? How do you immediately remove those bricks and have conversations with those folks?
So the uniqueness of Indian manufacturing segment or from Ace Micromatic, the value proposition we give is on the experience front. When I mean experience, it adds up with the product performance plus additionally the value we create with the productivity improvement for the customer. Be it with a turnkey solutions with an optimized cost, which he may not be knowing it.
You know, Regu, you say that, and I've seen the truth of it. And I can think off the top of my head, and I won't say the names, but you're here with me, so obviously we know one. But I can think off the top of my head of only 2, 3, maybe 4 machine builders in the world that can cut in the mold and die world, where precision is key, where rigidity is necessary in the micron precision world, and still give you a cost-effective upfront cost, right? Everyone says if when I buy an expensive machine, my cost per part is gonna be low, and that's how you sell it, and it makes sense. It's how we all sell something. At the end of the day, a cost per part is gonna be better because the stress isn't gonna be there. You know it's gonna be high quality when it comes out. You don't have to worry about rework and scrap and everything. But Guillermo, you and I know as we've traveled the world together and seen all of these machines, there's only a few machines out there that can reach that micron precision while upfront costs can also be reasonable. And Ace Micromatic is one of those, aren't they?
You're right, you're right. So Ace Micromatic don't save in casting. The castings of Ace Micromatic are top. Any machine tool builder in the world could rely on Ace Micromatic product. It's one of the best I have seen in my life. And I am not so young.
You look young.
Well, I look young, I'm not.
I think the world we live in these days, and Fernanda, you can back me up because you live here in Mexico as well, is that a lot of us want to have value for something that we buy, but it's even better when that something that we buy can be affordable.
Yep.
We're willing to, a friend of mine, a great mentor of mine once told me, I'm too poor to buy cheap, which means I'm gonna buy something that's gonna last me a lifetime. But what happens when that lifetime also comes with a very good value perspective as well, right?
Happy customers.
Yeah, happy customers. They go from 1 to 20.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yes, that's what is happening, right?
It's like when you go to the supermarket and you see something on sale, maybe you only need one, but it's on sale, and it's like, okay, give me 4.
You see, Tony, let me tell you something. It was like a joke, but it isn't. I introduced in Mexico many years ago the most expensive machine tools of the world. No one wanted to buy because of the price.
Right.
I managed to convince people. These companies are established in Mexico since years, but I introduced them there. The experience gathered with these top brands has helped me a lot in selling that less expensive machine in a quality that is not so far from those, at a price that is very affordable.
Agreed.
Nowadays, everyone look into the pocket, not only taste, look into the pocket.
My pockets are empty.
My pocket empty.
I got a little bit of dust in there, but that's about it, you know? All right, guys, we're gonna close this up because we have 1 million guests, I think, today, and my voice is starting to get raspy already. And you might even need a bathroom break, right? Don't tell anyone that. Good thing we're not recording right now, right? Anyway, I'm gonna give you guys about a 30-second closing statement for the audience out there watching. Remember, it's a global audience. You might want to speak Spanish to the Spanish speakers and English for the English speakers, but a 30-second closing statement, what you do, who you are, where they can find you, anything that's valuable at the core of Ace Micromatic and who you are here in Mexico as well.
Ace Micromatic is becoming a global company already. We are part of that global company in Mexico. Our company is TAMI, which is short for Technum Ace Micromatic International. The great value that we can add to the product is our know-how, our experience, giving turnkey solutions to customers that need turnkey solutions.
Very well said. I think you timed it right at 30 seconds too. All right, Rego. Let's see if you can keep up with that one. That was very well done.
That's a competition with Engman, yeah. See, at Ace Micromatic Group, our vision and purpose statement is to impact manufacturing sustainably. So where we can find out wherever manufacturing is, as the beginning of the show, as I said, what we hear to Mexico from India immediately after IMTEX is the manufacturing. Wherever manufacturing is happening, Ace Micromatic Group is contributing to that market and geography.
And I'll see you in Taiwan, right?
Yes, next week. We're going to do that.
All right, my friends, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. We're taking another commercial break, and I believe Kuka is up next.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chicago, Illinois, this is IMTS!
The point of us being here today is because we're doing Faces of the Industry. Talking with MC and Bonnie, they want to see as much representation amongst everyone as we can. And what better to offer that than MTDCNC with a global channel and people all over the world. In fact, today we're representing Canada, Mexico, US, and Pakistan.
23 years in manufacturing, I actually go to IMTS this year with you, with everybody here at this table, and we get to go to all of these different booths. But it's just, the theme this year, every booth I go to, everyone's talking about partnership, everyone's talking about collaboration, not just working with us, but working with partners in industry. They're all finding ways that their products complement each other, how they can support the customer better, and that has had me so revved up all week. I mean, my voice is gonna die. I wanna go to bed, but at the same time, I cannot pull it back. I am just blown away by the experience.
All right, my friends, welcome back. We're good to have you. I hope you're sticking around. I got Paul with me now. I thought it was going to be Kuka, but they've shifted Kuka around. He had to go back to the booth. We're going to bring them on later, but I got Paul with me, and I think this might be a very fascinating conversation because Paul, I don't want to say he's the boss of, I'll let him say whatever he wants to say, but let's just say he oversees about 168 companies here, and we're doing our very best to wrap our minds around what that actually means, and we're going to let Paul do most of the talking because he speaks English, French, and Spanish, right? Am I right there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a lot smarter than me. This is going to be a good one today. All right, Paul, I've given somewhat of a vague introduction because I'm learning about you, and that's my favorite part of doing this podcast, is truly diving into who people are and what they do. I said 168, 22 of those are Mexican. The rest of them come from around the world from what I understand. And it's mostly focused on wire, and then the word Dusseldorf keeps popping into my mind as well. Can you connect these puzzle pieces so we can make sense of it?
Sure. So it's not just wire, it's wire and tube.
Okay.
So here I'm representing Messe Dusseldorf, North America, which is the North American subsidiary of Messe Dusseldorf, which, as you can imagine, is based in Dusseldorf, Germany. And Messe means trade fair, so we, Messe Dusseldorf, own the convention center in Dusseldorf. And we also organize about 110 shows around the world in about 20 different industries, lots of them in industrial sectors like this here. So a couple of years ago, we started talking to the owners then of Expo Manufactura, which was another company, and happened to be the company where I worked and ran, but I'm not there anymore. But anyway, Messe Dusseldorf started talking to Tarsus at that point in time about bringing their shows, Wire and Tube. I know, very creative names. Very creative names.
They really thought outside the box for that one.
But they're descriptive.
We know what we're getting.
So there are two shows that we do in Dusseldorf, and now with Mexico in 7 countries in total around the world, that are all companies that have products to do with wires, cables, and tubes, which sounds incredibly boring. I admit it, but it's actually not, because if you really think about the industrial processes in so many different industries, lots of them use wires and cables and tubes. So what we have in Dusseldorf, just to give you a little idea of how small this industry is, our last edition in 2024 in Messe Dusseldorf had, between the two shows, wire and tube, 2,600 exhibitors and 59,000 visitors.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. All caring
Not
about
boring at all.
wires and tubes. So, and those are companies purchasing all over. So what we wanted to do here, and what we've now done, is our second edition, is we brought a little taste of wire and tube to Mexico, and we're doing it co-located with Expo Manufactura, because there's lots of similarities of the visitors to Expo Manufactura. For the most intensive purposes, they're the exhibitors that our exhibitors want to see. So as Tony said, we have 168 exhibitors, which is 3 times as many as we had for the edition last year that Messe Dusseldorf did here. They come from 20 different countries. It's probably more international, well, certainly in percentage, it's actually more international than Expo Manufactura. But all these companies have come to Mexico to either look for representatives and distributors, or look for more clients, or strengthen the relationship with clients. Some of them are already doing business here in Mexico and have reps, but a huge chunk of those 168 are coming here for the first time, because they know that the north of Mexico is this industrial hub. They know things are going to be a bit crazy in the next 3 years and 50 weeks or 49 weeks, thanks to what's going on up north. But the reality is, Mexico's industrial manufacturing base is not going to go away. And there are an incredible quantity of wires, cables, and tubes, and auto parts, and autos, and white goods, appliances manufacturing, and construction. Think of all the construction that has cables and wires and the tubes.
You beat me to my follow-up question, because
what are the industries?
Well, yeah, because I did a podcast not too long ago on gears, and people were like, gears, that sounds really pinpointed and boring. I'm like, think about the world around you. Everything has a gear in it. So my question was going to be, describe to the audience everything that has wire and tube.
I know, it's crazy. I'm new at Messe Dusseldorf. I just started working there last November, and I was amazed when I started getting involved in wire and tube, just to exactly where all these industries are that use wire and tube. So then when you start thinking about it, and something's broken in your house and you open it up, or
wires.
You open up the back of your fridge, or you don't open it, you just look at the back of your fridge. I mean,
they are everywhere.
Vacuum cleaner. I mean, there's wires and cables in everything. And it's, agnostic in the sense that it's not just steel wires or steel cables or aluminum tubes or copper tubes. It's everything, and it's all the machinery to make these things, and the form, make them and cut them and create them, but using all sorts of materials. So when you start thinking about it like that, and that's actually one of the things, if we want to go, I mean, I'm a boring trade show guy and I've been doing it for over 30 years, but if you start thinking about it, the reason why there's a trade show for almost everything that you can imagine is because all these things are used in so many different ways. Like, I joined this industry, again, a very long time ago, before most of you were even born, but, the things that I've learned, that you do a trade show for what? And it's like, yeah. And, ours in Germany, 2,600 exhibitors, 59,000 people flying in from around the world to see companies on wires and tubes. Here in Expo Manufactura, we don't know what the final numbers will be now, but the last edition that I organized 2 years ago, looking at 14,000 people coming. It's a very broad-based manufacturing show, and we are, as we say, and there's a term in Spanish for together but not together. So it's co-located with Wire and Tube Mexico right next door. So not all of these visitors are going to be interested in wires and tubes, but the ones that are can cross the hall and go see 168 companies that have solutions specifically for them.
You know, I was looking at the map outside and I saw a wire. I was like, what's that all about? And I actually walked over there and took a little tour myself. I was like, this isn't boring at all. This is. I'm going to leave something open for you in just a second, but I'm hearing you talk, and I don't think it's boring, and this is just outlandish podcast conversation for fun, because it seems like you have a really great personality, Paul. And I've thought about how we can maybe do some marketing for this. Okay. I'm thinking maybe hula hoop contest for the tubes, and some like Spider-Man spiderweb contest for the wires.
That would work.
Who can build like the really cool, like almost like a playground set, and then you can have a competition about it, and hula hooping for the tube, and that's going to get people's attention, right? I think maybe we do it.
I think it sounds good. I think we should. We have a little thing at the very back of our show to convince people to go right to the back. We were giving out little stickers. Oh, I already took off my badge, but we have little stickers. And if they come back to the back, we're giving out something that is for the wire. So it's a little light bulb with the wires. That's the other thing, the electrical industry.
Everywhere.
Lots of wires, lots of wires. So we're giving out this little light bulb that you put in some batteries, and it's got a lanyard on it. You can carry it around, you can put it around your dog's neck at night. You know, you can put it around your kid's neck at night.
You got like 20 of those, right?
and you flick on the light, and it says, you know, Wire Mexico.
That's in the back over there? I'll see you guys later. All right, it's been a fun podcast, guys. I'm just kidding. I can't do that to you. I can't do that to you. But I'm happy to learn about it. All right, Paul. All right, Fernando. Before I let Paul give his closing statement and we move on to our next amazing guest, we've hogged this entire thing. Are there any follow-ups you have?
Actually, you did. Paul bought all this thing.
He definitely led this podcast for sure. He led this podcast for sure. I like it.
And he let us all know that wires and tubes are not boring at all.
Not at all. Not at all. All right, Paul, we'll leave a closing statement for you, 30 seconds, minute and a half, in any language you want. We're here in Mexico. People have been dropping Spanish all day for closing statements, but totally up to you for the audience.
Well, lo que me gustaría decir es simplemente que estamos súper contentos de haber hecho la segunda edición de Wire Tube México aquí en Monterrey, y les invitamos, I invite everyone to come back, look at our website, and be ready to come back to Wire and Tube Mexico in 2027. Since we have 7 shows around the world, we cannot do a Wire Tube Mexico every year. You know, it's very specific, so every 2 years is more than enough. Well, not more than enough, exactly enough. So we're coming back again together with Expo Manufactura in February of 2027. So don't miss the 3rd edition of Wire Tube Mexico in 2027. Thank you.
And in French?
J'aimerais vous inviter à Wire and Tube, c'est fil et les tubes, le Mexique, en février de 2027.
Paul, you're amazing. I really enjoyed getting to know you today. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me. And thanks for getting me a free water bottle.
You got it. All right, my friends, we're headed to commercial break. We'll see you again in just a minute.
He's an engineer, traveler, author, speaker, podcast host, and recently tried to go surfing in a hurricane. But will you please make me feel very welcome, Mr. Tony Gunn.
Thank you so much. How many in here love social media marketing? Whether we like it or not, that is how we reach other people. That is how we grow our businesses. That is how we inspire the next gen. We have a generational situation. This time frame is moving so quickly that what's happened is folks like myself and a little bit older than me, we have one kind of way of working. We like to work. We put our heads to the grindstone, you know. But there's a generation of folks right now that have the information at the palm of their hands all the time, and they can figure it out within seconds. And that generation learns differently. Welcome back, welcome back. I haven't sung all day today, Fernanda. It's been all day. That's my first song. How do we feel?
Good.
Well, you know, I get excited and start singing when I'm with my friends. And these are my Rego-Fix friends. If you're going to fix it, Rego-Fix it. I'm patenting that, by the way. Have you ever said that before?
I've never said that before.
It's right. I got it. I'm patenting that. If you're going to fix it, Rego-Fix it. Thank you. So I have 3 wonderful guests with me today. One of them, only Spanish. She's gonna do our Vanna White. She's gonna model like this. A little, just kidding. Fernanda's gonna talk some Spanish today. And then I have one person, get this, 3 weeks. Oh yeah, we're throwing her right under the bus. Right under the bus. And then my longtime friend Christian here, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Rego-Fix, but sometimes even more important than products are people. So I want to learn about the people here. So I want to hear a little bit of each of their stories, and then we'll move a little bit into the products as well. Christian, we're not starting with you. I'm just kidding. We have to start with the fresh meat. The fresh meat in manufacturing. Please introduce yourself and describe a little bit about what brought you here.
Okay, yes. So I'm actually from Brazil. So I'm here in Mexico for the first time. Actually, I'm 3 weeks in.
Bienvenidos.
Thank you, gracias. I work currently at marketing in Rego-Fix, so I do marketing for all LATAM. So Brazil, Mexico, and all over the place.
And I'll see you at Expo Manufactura, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, 3 weeks in, what do you think about manufacturing? Especially because we talked about this earlier today. Women in manufacturing is predominantly a male-driven world. How do you feel about it? Have you been welcomed? Have they tried to scare you off? What do you think so far?
Well, actually, I was a bit scared to be entering manufacturing, but I find it like really nice. Actually, people have welcomed me like really, really nicely in Brazil, here in Mexico, and people also from Rego-Fix there. So all over the place, it has been really nice.
Well, by the time I get down to Brazil to see you, you're going to be a pro at this, and we'll have to do this again.
Yes, okay.
All right, Christian, ladies first. So we have to go into Spanish now. So please, go ahead, Fernanda.
Hola, cuéntanos un poquito sobre ti, ¿cómo llegaste por Rego-Fix?
Bueno, yo lo conocí, buenas tardes, yo conocí a Cristian en una empresa, empezamos a facturar, empezamos a ver nuestra manera de vender, entonces prácticamente él me dijo, vente para acá, yo te quiero a ti como vendedora, y llegué aquí apenas en enero, el 23 de enero, o sea, también soy nueva en esto, pero ya conozco y sé que Rego-Fix es una muy buena marca y no dudé ni un poquito en moverme para acá.
Antes de venirte a Rego-Fix, ¿ya estabas en el sector industrial?
El sector industrial, sí.
Y porque la misma pregunta que le hizo Tony a Beatriz, ¿cómo ha sido para ti el estar en un ambiente que es más conocido por ser un ambiente de hombres y que vemos muy poquitas mujeres, pero cada vez somos más? Sí, entonces creo que es también la importancia de que estén ustedes dos aquí con nosotros, demostrar a la audiencia que no es un mundo solo de hombres, sino que también habemos muchas mujeres que nos encanta este mundo.
Sí, bueno, sí batallé un poco, pero todo es muy sencillo para mí. O sea, también en la manera de cómo entras con el cliente. Sí ha sido difícil, pero ya al momento en que les demuestras cómo es lo que vendes, cómo te especializas en eso, ya, confían en ti.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, it is your turn.
I really got to work on my Spanish, guys. I know I do. Es muy malo, lo siento. Yo necesito más practicar. But I did notice how confident you got when we started speaking Spanish. You're like, I got this.
Let's go.
I have been speaking English in 4 months. Like, the pregnancy thing, I was not speaking English.
You're only typing English to me. Okay. All right, Christian, your turn, buddy. How's your jet lag, first of all?
Oh man, it's good. I don't know if I'm sleeping or awake, but we're here, so let's do it.
And I asked that because he just flew in from Switzerland, and I get the drama. I get the exhaustion, my friends, all around the world, and that's important to understand. Also, because you're headed to the headquarters to learn more, to make sure that your customers here in Mexico are taken care of. And we just released more or less a new product in a video this week. So I think that's important to understand. But before we get into products, Christian, tell me about you. How did you get into this, and how did you get into the role that you're in right now?
Okay, well, I've been here for 3 years. Started with Rego-Fix. Before, I used to work for the industry, but I was more into a different product. Let's say maintenance of CNCs. So I already knew about the clients. Then I met Daniel Jacob, my director, and he hugged me and brought me to this new world with Rego-Fix, and I love it. I'm here, I'm happy. Our product is amazing. We love what we're doing here.
You know what I'm singing in my head right now? A whole new world. Sorry. They make me happy.
Beautiful song.
It is. There's a magic carpet ride with Rego-Fix as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about products. And I know we could talk for hours if we had a whole podcast to ourselves, and I hope we do. We should do that maybe in Brazil. So I'm kind of fast forwarding the conversation. So we'll go here, here, and here again. We'll go back to Spanish a little bit. And the reason I want to start here again is because you're new to this. But I would imagine there's a unique perspective that some of us who have been doing this a while have forgotten. And I want to reignite that passion in my younger self, now that I'm an old man, of what got me into this to begin with, right? And you're 3 weeks into this. You're literally at one of the best companies in your part of manufacturing in the entire world. When you look at the products, when you speak to the people, especially maybe customers coming in, even if you're just listening to some of these other guys talk right now, what are you grasping about the importance of Rego-Fix and the quality of the products?
Well, I think it's mainly focusing on solutions. We give solutions to people. So if you have any problem, you can contact us, that we'll surely like to help you. And I also think, as I came here in Mexico, also in Brazil, it's all about having really good relationships. So everyone here at Rego-Fix maintains really good relationships with all the people, getting to really know them, as you said before, it's really important. So it's not only about the product, not only about giving solutions, but also getting to know you.
Do you have any unique, creative ideas for how you might do some marketing?
Yes,
yeah.
Sure.
Can you share any?
Okay.
I'm knowing yours. Yeah.
Secrets.
A lot of things. Well, I've been only recently joined Rego-Fix, so I've had a lot of ideas that I can bring, and starting a lot with social media is something I really want to bring in. So working a lot with you guys.
I'm thinking a tequila and a brainstorm is in our future.
Oh, yeah. And a caipirinha also in Brazil.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Español, por favor.
Háblenos un poquito de Rego-Fix para todos los que no conocen la marca. ¿Qué es lo que pueden encontrar con ustedes? Pueden encontrar conos, CAT50, CAT40, PT, SK, HSK, boquillas, todo lo tradicional que es lo ER. Nosotros lo que damos es soluciones al cliente y el dar como ahorro. O sea, eso es todo lo que podemos hacer.
Can I ask a question through a question?
Yeah.
And from English to Spanish to Spanish?
Yeah.
Can you ask her what her favorite product is from Rego-Fix and why?
¿Cuál es tu producto favorito de Rego-Fix y por qué? Favorite.
Mine too. Yo también. That was English and Spanish.
Porque nadie lo tiene. O sea, es una tecnología única de Rego-Fix. Y pues es lo mejor que puede tener el cliente. Y creo que, bueno, en lo personal cuando pienso en Rego-Fix es el primer producto que se me viene a la cabeza. ¿Sí?
Y por ejemplo, can I just add something?
No, absolutely. Of course you can. Of course you can.
Just a little bit.
You're the El Jefe.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Nada más rapidito, también quiero agregar ahí, por ejemplo, tenemos las tecnologías con, por ejemplo, doble contacto, certificados por los creadores. Tenemos también lo que es Capto, que es también certificados por los creadores de Capto. Realmente todas las interfaces que requieran las tenemos nosotros, ya que nosotros somos fabricantes. Nuestra fábrica se encuentra en Switzerland, en Tenneken. Todo el producto sale de ahí, no tenemos fábrica en ningún otro lugar del mundo. Todo es Swiss made, 100%. Llega a nosotros, que estamos con nuestra oficina en Querétaro, y tenemos vendedores en toda la República para poder apoyarlos directos.
Sí, que aparte de eso te da, el cliente sabe que el servicio que va a recibir y la atención es directamente de la empresa.
Así es, totalmente.
I was about to say my show has been hijacked. I was going to leave and come back later, but we're back again. That's good news. Yo entiendo más y menos.
Yo lo sé, tú eres mexicano. Yo lo sé.
Más y menos, sí, claro.
Hay que practicar también.
Claro. Last question I have for you, Christian, is Rego-Fix, as you mentioned, is a solutions-based company. You provide solutions. Do you have any stories of maybe your favorite solution that you provided that really helped a client, or maybe something that transformed you as well to help you understand how important your job is for others? But any story wrapped around that, because you are solutions-based. Everyone has a product, everyone has a thing, everyone has a gimmick. We want to be a solution provider for the people out there to help them win, right? By them winning, we win.
Sure. So I really can't,
can't name drop.
I can't name drop, but we had a client that had various part numbers that were coming out red because they were doing a drill and the drill was opening the hole. I don't know how to explain it really much.
I understand.
Opening the hole.
Yeah.
So let's talk about 50 pieces were coming out wrong. We went to the client. The client already knew about us because they saw us in a different expo. They called us. We went to them. We took the machine. We took the holders. We put in the system power grip. The problem was done. After that, instantly bought from us. Now it's one of our #1 clients.
Yeah, amazing. And in my head, I'm immediately going through the processes of elimination, going, okay, is there flex in the drill? Is the drill hanging out too long? Is it the rigidity of the collet itself? The run out of the tool holder? Is there rust on the tool holder? Is the spindle spinning true? You know, all these things that go along with that true accuracy of what happens when you drill. And knowing that you were able to fix it, that's amazing. All right, I've done this the entire day. And I think it's important to do, and it's just open up for a 30-second closing statement. And again, we'll go in the same order, English, Spanish, English, but just, and you can translate to Spanish as well, but just 30 seconds, closing statement for the audience. It could be a website, it could be your gratitude for being an Expo Manufacturer, it could be whatever you want it to be, but just a closing statement before we go to the next commercial break and bring on the next amazing guest. Okay, Beatrice.
Okay, I can start, right? So you can visit us at Rego-Fix.com. So there you can go and check all our solutions. So you can see it for yourself.
And we'll see you in Brazil.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in Brazil. And we'll do this again.
I'll be in Brazil too. We'll see you again.
Yeah? What's the national drink? Like here's tequila. What is it in Brazil?
Caipirinha.
So that's what we're having, yeah?
We're having a lot of
Did you somehow her face?
There's a glow. Yeah. And then I can dance?
Yes, carnaval.
Oh. Can I put on some makeup and some feathers and everything too?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Awesome.
I will pay to see that.
I'll do it for free.
Okay, great.
¿En español?
Pues en las páginas de Rego-Fix en LinkedIn. También ella va a trabajar en las redes sociales. Y pues si quieren una solución, que nos busquen.
English or español, your choice.
First off, I want a special shout out to Pascal.
Oh, and for Brian Bannister. I want to give one to Brian.
And the whole Rego-Fix team all over the world. And I want you guys to know that we now have a Rego-Fix webpage in Spanish. So all our clients can go in there. If they want to do test runs, they can put in their information, whatever they need. We get a direct email and we contact and go directly to the client.
Say that one more time in Spanish, español.
Ya contamos con una página web, Rego-Fix México. Ahí pueden entrar, meten su información. Si tienen algún problema con algún mecanizado, ponen la información, nos llega un correo a nosotros y nosotros los visitamos directos. Pero también si nos pueden ayudar en seguirnos en link Rego-Fix Group, sería muy bueno. Y pues estamos a la orden.
Perfecto.
¿Todo bien?
Todo bien.
Excelente.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. How do I say it in Portuguese?
Obrigada.
Muchas gracias.
Obrigada.
Obrigado. All right, let's take another commercial break and we'll see you again in just a minute.
Thank you.
I am here in Mexico today at Expo Santa Fe because we're going to talk TECMA. Now, TECMA is the trade show here in Mexico to attend. If you're going to attend only one show in Mexico this year, attend TECMA. And why is that? Well, we have this big conversation about nearshoring and reshoring right now, right? Well, Mexico is the backbone for the infrastructure that we might currently be lacking in the US to have that support here in Mexico. Will now take place from June 18th to June 20th at Expo Santa Fe, Mexico City. If you're gonna bring your significant other, we want them to be able to go shopping, and this is a very familiar, comfortable area. You can go shopping, enjoy yourself. There's restaurants everywhere, and safety is key. Here, you have no problems. All right, welcome back from commercial, and I cannot start this episode, this part of the podcast, with two of my best friends without doing some dance moves, because I'm excited to have them. I know how bad they are. I sang on the last one. I think it's just getting worse as the day goes on. Because the dance moves are that bad?
What do you think about
They could be better. It could be better a little bit.
That's a really nice way to say it's horrible. They could be better. So if any of you out there have ever been told it could be better, it's about as bad as what you just saw. Just so you know.
It's an opportunity area for you.
An opportunity to grow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
But I heard tequila helps with that. Does tequila help with dance moves?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Personal experience?
Yeah. Personal experience.
All right, guys. You may or may not know this, but the Gunn Show podcast is all about humanizing the industry. And while I do call you guys two of my best friends in all of Mexico, because I've probably known you for about a decade at this point, and grateful that you've come on board over the last few years and instantly become an extension of my friendship with your father as well. We're going to get into machines, we're going to get into company history as well, but we have to talk about who you are, why you're here, and why you do what you do, because that connects with an audience in a human form. So then we want to know more about how our car was made, or how that satellite was made, and how the interweb works, right? And all that fun stuff. But we got to know about the humans first. We'll start with your father because, I mean, that's how you got here, right? At least as far as I understand, that's how the whole thing works, right?
Yes.
It goes from father to son.
Yes,
So,
yes, sir.
Alfredo, my friend, how did you get into Now, I know you're what, 24, 25 years old?
Yes, correct.
Right around there?
Right around there.
Not years in the industry, but years old, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
correct.
so just a couple of years ago, you graduated college.
A couple of years ago.
Right, and got into manufacturing. How did you get started?
Yeah, well, I graduated as an engineer from Iowa State, and I went with Okuma in 1994, 95. Started with Okuma, and that's how I started in the machine tool industry. With Latin America, working out of Charlotte, brought up with, and I came to Mexico to live, and I spent in Latin America for them. So I've been in the machine tool ever since. Now I got my own company since 2006. Foot Technic started, but I am because of the machine tool industry, and we depend on a lot of good customers. Foot Technic has been very successful, and obviously we started from zero to where we're at. We're always growing, but I think there's still to grow a lot in Latin America. I know the political things have been part of the issue, but Mexico and the U.S. need each other. I think it's a very good compliment. You know, working for the U.S. needs someone like Mexico, and Mexico benefits from it too. So I think it'll only grow. There's a lot of concerns right now, but I think everything will go forward as always.
I'm trying not to worry about it, but you're right. I mean, I travel this country and the U.S. and other places of the world where my keynotes change a little bit, but in the U.S. and Mexico, when I give the keynotes, it is all about the relationship of Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. and how we need to work together, and how important it is when we're talking about reshoring, nearshoring, onshoring, these shoring words we're talking about. There's the same rules and regulations, they're the same friendships. It's almost the same language at this point, especially where I live in Miami. You know what I mean? So when we talk about this, we need to be friends. The infrastructure in the U.S., even though the U.S. is number 2 in the world in manufacturing right now, and number 2 in the world by a long shot over number 3, and number 1 in the world, I won't talk about them, sorry guys, number 1 in the world is actually a pretty long shot ahead of the U.S. currently, while we're trying to do more domestically. But what happened 20, 30 years ago, the generation above me and maybe above that, was everyone lost their jobs because they got sent everything overseas. So there's a generation that's pissed off at manufacturing and doesn't want their kids to be a part of it. However, we realized offshoring is not the answer, but by doing that, we shut down foundries. We sent things overseas, and we don't actually have the infrastructure required if we were to reshore everything right now, but in partnership, we do. That's my tangent, I apologize. Let's get back to the human thing. Alfredo Jr. Let's talk about how you got into this.
Well,
Obviously, my dad's been in this business for a very long time. So for me, when I graduated high school, it was, well, what am I gonna do? Obviously, my father did push me a little bit into being a mechanical engineer, which I'm very grateful for today. It's been great. It's been a great experience to work with my father, seeing him, since so young. He's been involved in this industry, like I said. So now being a part of it and working with him, it's been an amazing experience that, few of us get. So I'm excited for what he's doing, his vision. So hopefully, I can do some good.
I know he's proud of you. I know, and I made the joke earlier about your father being 24, 25. I mean, he's just a tiny bit older than that, but in honesty, you are around that age. So I'd like to pick your brain a little bit about people your age and a little bit younger and invite them into manufacturing, and maybe why. Because although your father did push you and he's proud of you for doing it, that wasn't your original goal. You and I talked about that just yesterday. But you are enjoying yourself and you are appreciating the journey as well. So let's talk to your age group demographic and those a little younger than you and why they might want to come in as well.
Being in this industry, you get to see everything firsthand, how everything's made. So to me, that has been fascinating just to see how everything in the world works and how everything is made. So I think nowadays, being in this industry, I do see that we're not as many young people going into engineering and whatnot. So hopefully, we start getting more, creating more attention to this aspect because it's a need. We need to, like you said, we need to grow manufacturing, and if we want to do it locally in the U.S., we got to do it in partnership. But we need young people to take over and start building, making things.
You said you were going to start giving keynotes as well, right? All right, Fernando, don't let me hog this whole thing, and let's get out Play-Doh.
I was about to do this.
I want to hold you. Okay, no singing, no singing.
No, as you were saying, you got a little push from your dad to get into this industry, and I think it's part of our job to give this push to younger generations, like to show them how this industry work is, and don't get them to think that it's a boring world because it is not.
It is not.
Because I think that a lot of what we see in cartoons or in television about manufacturing is not what it really is.
Right.
So we have to let them know how the industry world is and all the things they can create by being here.
Correct. Yes, you're right.
What advice would you give? Because obviously you maybe strong-armed your son. You didn't strong-arm him, right? But what advice would you give for the youth out there, as we have what we call in the U.S. our silver-hairs that are about to move out, and we're losing a lot of knowledge in that generation. And there's, whether it's just the fact that there's less people in the Gen X category or less people that were excited about manufacturing, regardless, there is a gap between how many people are about to retire and how many people are coming into it. What advice would you offer?
Well, I think we have to understand a lot of the new generation, it doesn't have the background that we have. And social media has created a lot of things that I think we've lost a lot of the technical background. Nobody wants to get into it anymore. But I think it's like she said, we have marketing, we have events, it's very social, and it's part of our growth. We need this, we can't let it go. And I think in the US we've lost a little bit of that. And there's other countries, like you said, the number one in the world, I think they're investing so much into that and we're losing that. But this is an exciting industry. I've always enjoyed it all my life. Even when I was back in the 20s, I remember there was not many engineers like me, and that when Okuma was looking for somebody like myself, I was probably one of the only ones. They didn't have any options. They had to hire me.
Right.
They had to hire me. I was the only one that interviewed for the job.
Well, you turned out good.
So I think it's a misunderstanding because this is a very exciting market. And it is. I think they take it differently. Just because it's manufacturing, you don't have to make the tools themselves. There's so many engineering you don't get to get dirty on when you're in engineering or in management. But in this industry has all those type of jobs: marketing, management, social media. Everything's part of the industry. So I think we should look at it different, and it's part of the heart of being successful in the market. This is part of it, and I think we should we should all enforce it a little bit better. I think that's the weakness. There's not enough focus in marketing, and I think we have to make it more exciting.
There's an opportunity to improve, like my dance moves.
Yes.
is that what you're saying?
Not as much as his dance moves.
Wow! Oh, my heart! Mi corazón! ¿Cómo se dice? Oh my goodness! All right, let's talk a little bit more about Pro Technique now. Now, I've known you for quite a while, and I've seen most of the machines stay the same, but there's been a couple that come and go and that kind of thing, and you have a powerful portfolio, and something I've noticed about you is you never sacrifice quality. All the people that you bring in, that you work with, you know it's going to be a quality product to go along with the service and support that you built the team around to make sure that it's taken care of.
Right. I work with so many wonderful companies. Okuma, I've worked with Tsugami's, I've worked with Permless, I worked with DMGs, I worked with everybody. And nowadays, that technology, you can almost find it almost in the whole world. And you can relocate that technology to almost anywhere. We're a global market. What makes us different, I think, we're trying to create the service aspect, the support aspect. And I think in the future, distribution needs to have an added value, not just be a distributor. We have to have something that makes us attractive, and we have to have support locally. I think that's our main thing. We're developing so much local support with service and applications that it doesn't matter. The technology, yes, it is a factor which we do have, but after that, it's how do you support it? And that's what we're creating in Mexico, and I think that's part of our success.
I'm gonna take that and take it to the next generation, because that's gonna have to be your focus.
Right.
I mean, your father might be implementing it, but we all know, and we say this all the time, you can sell one machine, but you will not sell a second one without service and support. But that's gonna be your responsibility. Do you have the same beliefs?
I do. Obviously, we're from the U.S., so in the U.S., we expect to have great customer service and support as always. I think in Mexico we do like that a little bit, so we are bringing that on into Mexico for ourselves and trying to make that happen here in Mexico as well. We want to be able to support everyone and take care of our customers. And like you said, our service should sell the second machine. So yeah,
it has to. It has to. And we're past the days of dropping a machine off and just letting them figure it out. We are now turnkey. We are now full support. We are now solutions based. Most people these days will not buy a machine unless it has a completed finished product that they're buying it for at the end of the day. And that's why you guys are being very successful here in Mexico. Fernanda, I again have bombarded this entire conversation. Before I give them their 1 minute, 60-second closing statement and we bring on the next people, I'm going to open it up to you for any questions that I haven't asked today.
Maybe not questions, but I would like to highlight this. I have a conversation with Freddy yesterday, I think, about the new brands they are having and how well prepared they are to give this service that we're talking about. Like, it's a direct service that they are giving to the people. They don't have to go over and over to get the right answer about how the product will work, how to make the parts right. So I think that's very important that our audience will have a full solution with them, because their team is totally prepared to give them those solutions.
How big is your service team these days?
Well, overall, Protechnic has 76 people, and we have 25 service people and 3 applications. So almost half our team is service.
Yeah, that's where you want to be.
That's correct.
Yeah. Plus Benjamin can do it all anyway, right? Shout out to Benjamin, by the way. All right, guys. Each of you have 30 seconds, a minute, English or Spanish, totally up to you. Closing statement for the audience. Obviously, the majority of our audience is English speaking, but we're here in Mexico today, and some Mexican people will be watching this as well. So if you want to switch to Spanish, you're welcome to. But closing statement, then we'll go to a next commercial break.
Yes. I just want to thank the Mexican market for our success. Protechnic is growing, and we're very successful. But more importantly, I think we hope that the market continues to grow. America as a whole. That is the most important thing. I hope that America as a whole continues to grow, and we'll be all happy. I think
I just want to thank you and the market, it needs to grow together, America itself. I think it's the most important thing.
Right, for me, same thing. I think we got to stay together, you know, all of us. And like you said, we young people, we need more young people in this industry. So yeah, no, for me, you know, hopefully you guys don't see it as a hard thing or the hardest thing. You know, engineering is tough, but it's exciting and it's cool to be part of it. So yeah, new generations, please help us get better.
In summary, why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't, all right, commercial break. Next question. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Tony, thank you.
My name is Tony Gunn. I am currently the Director of Global Operations at MTDCNC. Why manufacturing? Why does manufacturing matter to you? There are a lot of youth out there that want to make a difference. They want to change the world. They've been inspired to change the world. They see videos out there of people changing the world, right? And whether you want to be eco-friendly and green, or whether you want to, you know, do medical and help people walk again, or I've even seen some great videos of people who are, you know, blind that can now see. And I know that seems strange, but check it out. Or can't hear that can now hear. People with heart stents that didn't think they would survive and now they do. The world of manufacturing can change a reality for people. It can change the way you think about what is actually capable. And if you care about your family, you care about your friends, you can make this a part of your lifestyle. All right, welcome back from commercial. I shouldn't clap while I do that. It's probably messing my microphone up. Okay, let's do it again. Now you can't hear me. I don't know how to do one or the other, Fernanda. I have to do both and make all the noise or none of the noise.
All of the noise. You should have started with a song.
Which song? Is there a Zoller theme song? We got Zoller today. You have a watch, you have glasses, you have shoes. Do you have a theme song?
Man, not really.
By the end of the show, we're going to come up with one. We're going to have a Zoller theme song.
I will be on the interview like thinking Zoller song.
So we've accidentally kind of sort of introduced Oscar already. This is my buddy Oscar Gonzalez. I like that name. I don't know why. I think it's because of Looney Tunes when I was a kid. Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Now we got Oscar Gonzalez. Are you fast?
I'm what?
Fast?
No, not really. Look at me. Not really.
When you were younger?
In the past, yes, I was. But right now, I'm more dedicated in other stuff.
Well, I hope I'm not being offensive. I don't mean to be, but in Looney Tunes, they had Speedy Gonzalez, and do you know who his cousin was?
Yeah.
Slowpoke Rodriguez. And he carry a big gun. All right, enough of that nonsense. Let's talk about Oscar. Let's talk about how you got into manufacturing. Let's get to learn a little bit more about you. Did you do this on purpose?
No.
So what happened? How did you get here?
Oof, it's kind of a long story, let's say. But if you know, just talking a little about me, I'm kind of young. I'm 30 years old, and when I started in the manufacturing, it was a different world for me. I studied at the beginning in regular school, then I go to high school, and I was very, not sure about what to study. Something that all the young people sometimes has that challenge. But after some things, I say, okay, let's study an engineer. Then I starting to study an engineering, and then I go to the university. I take my years there, and after that, I start to work in automation company. Then I work there for a while, and after that, I send my resume to Zoller. And then I come here to the world, to the manufacturer. I start to involve more on this, and I start as a sales engineer there. Then I grow as an application engineer, then service manager, then general manager, and right now I'm the director of Zoller of Mexico. But it was a very kind of opportunities that come to me in the right moment, and I take them, even with not a high experience at the beginning, and just take it, do what I know to do, work as hell, and then now we are a big team, we are growing a lot, the customers are understanding how our solutions are supporting them in the manufacturing area, and yeah, now I'm here, I'm pretty involved in this world, and I'm so happy to be here.
So, 30 años, no?
30 years.
And you're director?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not that smart. How about you?
I'm getting there.
You're way smarter than me too. That's impressive. Anything for, you know this guy quite well, don't you?
Yeah, we have been working together since last year, pretty close. And I think it's impressive how in 1 year you have grown a lot. You're even having your open house this year, right?
This year is coming, yes. We will let you know, of course.
So how has been for you to grow in Zoller? Like as you mentioned, you started from the very beginning and now you're a director. So I think that for both of us, this is very impressive how fast you get there and how young you are.
I think the most and the key, in my opinion, is the people you have, the team you have. If you have a strong team who trust in you, who trust in your team, in the product, then everything is much more easy. And also, if you have a good connection with them, if you understand, and then from there you can grow as much as you want. So I think this is the key for me right now. So this is what we have. We have a strong team. Everyone they have a very strong commitment, and this supports a lot.
Yeah, it's a good answer. Can you toss me a microphone real quick? Just real quick, toss me one of those microphones. Because I think this is just one. Uno. Por favor.
Are you doing a mic drop?
I am. Don't break my microphone, but the people are the most important. Drop that microphone. That's right, that is a microphone drop moment. You can have the pillow back, you can have the microphone back, but that was a very important thing to recognize because the people are the key. You can have the best products, but if you don't have the service support, the people to help you grow, we can't do it on our own. I tried once when I was very young to micromanage everything. It does not work, I promise you. Team is everything, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You need to trust on them also. But you also, as a manager or a director, you need to put the right person in the right place. And if you have them, if they are happy, if they are comfortable, then everything runs perfect. So this is what I'm trying to do. This is how, because I think Zoller is a pretty great company since many years ago. We have 80 years this year. We have that anniversary. But as you mentioned, you need people who show that. And for that, yeah, we need to work with them.
So let's talk about some of the solutions, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know, hey, here's another, maybe this is a song, maybe it's not. What have you done for me lately? Dun, dun, dun. Ooh, that is a song, that's a great song. Look, I'm an 80s kid. That's definitely around that genre, for sure.
Sorry, you're younger.
Yeah.
Shut up.
A little.
I'm out of here. Now I'm sad about this podcast. What the heck? All right, you're younger, I get it, but a lot of people think, what have you done for me lately, right? Is we might have had the best of something yesterday, but what do you have now, right? And your solutions continue to improve year after year, which is why you continue to grow. I think you said 80 years?
80 years.
80 years in business. You can't stay in business 80 years if you're sticking with the same thing from 80 years ago. So let's talk about some of your solution-based products that can help the people watching right now.
Yeah, of course. We have mainly now 7 solutions that, I say 7 solutions like as a general solution because on each one we have different variants, But the main things are 7 solutions and we are focused on to be more efficient. More efficient, be save cost to the companies, and mainly our core business are, as probably all the people who know Zoller, is presetting and measuring machines. We have inspection machines. We have now tooling solutions also. We have automation solutions, but it's now our main solution. We are working so hard on it because now the automation is like the next step and the future of the industry. Then we are working a lot on it. We have balancing solutions, heat shrink solutions. Then we are completely, we try to cover around the whole manufacture shop floor. And with that, we create TMS, what it's tool management solutions. And all that is connected in one database. So we can have these 7 solutions in one place. And then it's pretty easy for the customers to have the traceability of all their shop floor, and then you can start to save costs.
Yeah, I'm gonna share a quick story and you can think of the next question before we let Oscar close out. I was just in India at a company called CTC, and they had an entire room built around your products.
Yeah.
And they just bought 49 Rollermatic machines in 1 year. So they needed to keep track of all of their wheels and all of their tooling, all of their everything, and they did it with your product. One of the better rooms I had seen while traveling around India, which was kind of cool. So just a testimonial to you and the Zoller product. So did that give you time to think of something?
I had it already because I know how I want Oscar to do his closing statement.
Okay.
Because I'm very happy for them for all the growth they have had in the last years. And I know you're having your open house, so I would like you to close your statement, inviting everyone to your open house and so we can all celebrate with you like this milestone you're having here in Mexico. Because right now I know you have some of your tools with some companies, but now having your own space and big and beautiful and everything, I think that deserves a shout out to our
Yeah,
audience.
of course. Please, everyone is invited to this open house. We will let you know the final date soon, but really it's gonna be an amazing event. We are so happy for that. We are growing, and this shows what we are doing, and all the team will be there to receiving you, to host you, and you will see all our solutions. You will have fun there, have a good time between doing networking and also learning about the industry. We want to give you a very nice moment there. So we are so happy for that, and of course you will be there, and we will be very happy to have you there.
You know what else I learned today as we thank Oscar for being here? You know how I know he's important? There's no badge right here. That is printed on. Oscar is staying for a long time. Normally people have a tag or something, right? No, that's on the shirt forever. Oscar, thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate your time. Congratulations on all the growth and keep being amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much. Same for you. All this is.
All right, let's head off the commercial break. We'll see you again in just a minute. This is Shop Rescue.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Bryson. I am the Business Development Manager for the Americas for Blaser Swiss Lube. So Blaser Swiss Lube is a cutting fluid company. We have our headquarters obviously in Switzerland, but we have our US headquarters in Goshen, New York. Dave gave me a call. He was talking about a job shop. They need help. And when they need help, we want to make sure that we as a community and as an industry are there to support them and do anything it takes to make sure that they are killing it. We want to help these smaller shops because their success is our success, right? And then you watch them grow. They buy more coolant, we're able to help them. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Welcome back, my friends. This amazing young lady has decided to join us. She says she's super nervous, so let's be nice to her, okay? We're going to be super nice to you today.
Thank you so
no
much.
No hard questions, no throwing anyone under the bus.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay,
you okay
you
with
promise?
that? I promise,
Okay,
I promise.
thank you.
So sure.
So this is Paula. We're very happy to have her. She is with K-Intra, and I don't know anything about that. And I don't know if that's embarrassing for me, or maybe we should do some marketing together, but we all get to learn together, and that's what I'm most excited about. When I'm on a podcast, when I'm introducing someone, when I'm learning about something, I'm never shy to say I don't know. And I think that's a good lesson for all of us out there, is to say it's okay to say I don't know, to raise our hands and ask a question, because when I was in class as a kid, I would pretend I knew everything, and I wouldn't ask questions, and I think that was worse off for me. So as an adult, I want to teach you folks out there, it's okay not to know. So in this situation, I get to learn, and I'm very, very excited. So Paula, tell me more about K-Intra and what you guys do.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Paola Benitez, and I am working in K-Intra in the business linkage area. So what we do, K-Intra is an organization. It's a chamber of transformation of industry in Nuevo León, and we have a lot of services, but the most value of our members is the linkage between the small and medium-sized enterprise with the large enterprises. So we create a lot of spaces where they can connect with these big companies, and they can offer their products and services to provide any requirement that they have.
Okay, I have a couple of follow-up questions because that's really cool.
Yeah, thank
One
you.
is it only for And Renishaw is huge, massive, global, but I'm gonna pretend for a second they're real small.
Okay.
And they only have this amazing setup here.
Okay.
If they have the equator and that's all they have and they're a small facility, are you helping them reach those big like automotive places and sell their products within that? That's the focus? That's what you're describing?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
We have a lot of contacts in Mexico, but also we have partners like Informa Market that has a lot of these spaces such as Expo, and we organize the B2B, such as you said. You can search a big companies to connect with the
and
small
you
ones.
help them get in the door. That's an amazing service. My follow-up question to that is, do you also do this for, say, job shops, for example? And I'm gonna try to explain this in a way that maybe you're like, no, we don't do that, or maybe it is, but there's a lot of massive companies out there that can't do all the work themselves, so they outsource some of that work to smaller shops to do the machining for them and then ship it back to the main shops. Do you also help job shops, small and medium-sized job shops, get work from the big places, or is this more about connecting businesses with products to get into the big places?
Yes, only the services they are searching for.
Okay.
And our exercise is very simple. The big companies search us, such as I need automotive products.
So you have a lot of automotive companies in Mexico.
Yeah. They are very specific of the requirements. So we search in our data with our members is the first step. So if we don't have the information or the enterprise that can provide that thing, we search with our partners. We have partners in Mexico City, in Querétaro. We are in contact with clusters and other enterprises that can help us. But it's all these enterprises that help us are similar of us, searching the growth of these companies to develop el desarrollo económico.
Sí.
Yes.
Yeah, entiendo.
Sí.
I have two questions. One that I think I have the answer, but I'm not pretty sure.
Okay.
Caintra, you mentioned at the beginning, you're from Caintra, Nuevo León. Is there Caintra like in other places like Caintra Querétaro, Caintra Mexico City, or those are different associations from yours?
No, yes, it's other associations. We are only in Nuevo León, but we have other partners, but it's by other names.
And my other question is like, how does the companies become part of your association?
If they want, we are open to receive many companies, and if they are classified as industry enterprise, you can search us, and you can be a member of Caintra.
What's their website?
Caintra.com.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Easy enough. Okay, can I get personal for a second?
Yes.
How do you like manufacturing? We've had a few conversations today with young women in a world that has way too many men in it. How do you like this world of manufacturing?
I like this world because I really enjoyed connecting enterprises to create this opportunity that it is very hard for small and medium enterprises. And also we provide capacitaciones, courses, para lograr que su cita de negocio sea exitosa.
Well said. Any following up questions before now?
I'm good.
Paula, you have been amazing. You are a success. Thank you so much for speaking English with me, because mi español es muy malo. And the audience just loves to have more women in manufacturing, so we're grateful that you're here. In Spanish, I would love for you to give a closing statement to anyone out there throughout Mexico that's looking for this type of partnership. Maybe drop the website one more time, but just a closing statement saying this is who we are, this is what we do, and we want to help you, but in español.
Ok. Los invito a que se acerquen al sitio web de Caintra, caintra.com. Nosotros tenemos ya 81 años ayudando a la industria de Nuevo León, capacitando a las pequeñas y medianas empresas para que potencializar sus ventas y que la economía de nuestra región sea la más top de México y a nivel internacional.
Excelente. All right. Thank you all for watching. We're going to take a commercial break. This is my friend Paula, but she tricked me at first. Her name was Cecilia Paula, and I said the wrong thing. Regardless, she did an amazing job. First time ever podcast. Said she was nervous, but nailed it. We'll take a quick commercial break, and I think we're closing out with my good friend Alex. So stay tuned. We got the best for last, but don't tell everyone else I said that. That was the... Never mind. Take a commercial break.
I'm in Windsor, Vermont today at the American Precision Museum, and I have the wonderful opportunity to show you the insides of a historical landmark from 1846.
So when I first heard about the American Precision Museum, I thought, all right, this is neat because it's history and it talks about the beginning of really the industry as I know it. But as I came to visit and got more involved and aware of the mission of the museum and what is really happening here, I got more excited because it's more than just a collection of machines. It's a place that really strives to inspire and educate people about manufacturing and precision manufacturing.
Welcome back, my friends. I'm excited for many, many reasons, but two of the biggest reasons I'm excited is because one, we're almost done. This is the last set of the day. After 3 flipping hours, we're almost done. But more importantly than that, we got my brother right here, my buddy Alex. I was about to lay on this couch, but I saw him coming. I was like, oh, we got to do this. We have to do this. And Renishaw has been so nice to let us borrow their booth the entire time. We started off with Fatima, who was a dream interview. We have to end with Alex, who has the award-winning smile. And I think that's why they're so successful here. Despite the products and the quality, it's the award-winning smile for sure. Alex, thank you so much, brother. It is good to see you. And
nice
thank you for allowing us to utilize your booth for this.
Oh, always, anytime you want, Tony, Fernanda. You know, very most welcome.
We take the all the time you want very serious because we have been here for 3 hours.
I know. You guys just run a marathon. I don't know how you guys standing up right now. It's just
But it's only our mouths that are running the marathon.
Yeah, I know.
My body, I actually got a cramp in my thigh earlier.
Exactly. It's just like a marathon. After you start running a lot, it gets a lot of cramp. Same thing.
Yeah, my singing voice is about gone now. I know
yeah.
you love when I sing to you.
Yeah, I know. Which is
Alejandro. I can't do it anymore. All right, Alex. You and I have done a podcast before. In fact, if somebody flips back to like episode, I don't even know, like 20 or something.
I think it was 20.
We're on around 180, 190 right now, but it was around 20. And if you want to learn more about Alex, we're going to do a spitball rehash of that in just a minute. But if you want to learn more about Alex, we spoke for like an hour on this booth actually a few years ago at this show actually. So that's how many times I've been to Mexico. I love this place. Alex, tell us about you, just in summary, because people can go back to that. But I want to learn, and I want the audience to learn a little bit more about who you are, what you do, how you got into this, and where we are today, because your growth has been magnificent.
Thank you. Yes. Well, there's a long story, of course. Well, I'm trying to make it short because you guys are tired. So let's go and do that.
We're not too tired for you.
Okay. Excellent. So yeah, well, I love this industry. You know, I love metalworking. I love the metrology side of things. I started out when I was about 17 years old, 16 years old.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. So I was working on summers with a machine tool company distributor. So I started out, you know, understanding the basics of the business, understanding logistics of, you know, transporting machines, understanding some of the accounting, understanding some of the technical stuff with the machines. And fast forward that, I spent there about 6-7 years during that industry. So we were working for a machine tool distributor called Comay de Monterrey. But then Comay, also with other distributors of machine tools in Mexico, they used to handle the line of Renishaw. So they got their Renishaw distributors, all of it. So Renishaw has been in the market for over 30, 40 years now in Mexico, but only through distribution. So not only Comay was a distributor, but also High-Tech and also Altec and many other brands of distributors of machine tools in Mexico. They're always they were treating Renishaw as accessory, you know. So I can sell you some styli, I can sell you some probes. That only goes with my machines, with my brands. So I started out saying, hey, you know what? We can install these probes in different brands of machines, you know. So we kind of like separated from that business, from the machine tool business, and it started out going only with Renishaw. So it's like we started a distribution for Renishaw, which they're also CMM distributors that they handle Renishaw in Mexico. So the guys who sold CMMs and the guys who did service for CMMs, they used to have the Renishaw equipment and they were distributors. But I found it that they were only handling Renishaw as a side business. So I said, okay, well, let's make Renishaw our main business. So I started out with that. So we started selling to the automotive, to the aerospace, started out with styli, started out with, you know, machine tool probes, with CMM probes, and all of a sudden starting to grow, and then that being recognized by Renishaw UK and Renishaw in the US, saying, hey, you know what, we have this guy who, you know, he's been dealing it's all Renishaw. He's not doing anything other than for Renishaw. So they started to increase the business in me. So in the company that we found. And there was a lot of people involved. There were people involved from Renishaw US, which I'm very grateful. There were people, I mean, also it's worth to mention that the machine tool company that I used to work with was my dad's. So it helped. It helped. And you know, the contacts that he's brought in also with the industry. But then we decided to separate the business. So we're gonna separate, and this is gonna be, it was called Metric Precision Group, and it was only dedicated to serve customers for Renishaw. That's it. So then Renishaw US started saying, hey, you know what? If there's something from Mexico, just give it to Metric. You know, because these guys, they only do Renishaw, and then we did that alliance. It grew up, you know, it started to grow, and then all of a sudden, you know, Renishaw UK started to investigate the business, market case for Mexico, and they said, hey, you know what, Alex, we want to buy your company. So, and I said, yes, let's do it. You know, we sealed the deal, and then we founded Renishaw Mexico based on Metric Precision Group back in 2012. So
I want to ask you, now you mentioned distributors across Mexico that always utilize Renishaw as a side piece, as an accessory. If I sell a machine and they want something, or they want the other thing that's similar, or the other thing that's similar, they can have whatever they want. I offer all three or all four, right? That's an easy sale or an easy add-on with something that I care about more, that might give me more commission or whatever it might be, right?
Exactly.
What vision did you see that you knew? I mean, as I look around, I don't think there's a bigger booth in all of Expo Manufactura than this Renishaw booth.
Bigger, brighter.
Better, like more visited? Like, I don't. What vision did you see to say, I see something here that Mexico needs, that I know is not just a side piece or an accessory, but can be a main piece and thrive here?
Exactly. Well, that was the situation with, for example, maintenance of machine tools. I mean, when you go with the distributors of different machine tools in Mexico, they only do their own brand. So I have a problem with this machine, you know, I only give you service with this machine. So we can service everything. So we started to run ball bar tests in all machines. And that get us into different big automotive companies like General Motors, Ford, and the tier ones. I said, hey, I want this service and I want you here for the next 2 months, non-stop. And of course that turned out to be a very good business for us, and they started to spread out the word. So there was this opportunity that no one was actually taking care of the whole spectrum of what metrology can do for a machine tool in the beginning, because we were very focused on machine tool pros, you know. But then later on, they said, oh, so you handle, you know, you're distributing Renishaw, yeah. Well, I want something for the CMM. Can you sell that to me? Yeah, of course. So we went to the lab. So we started to spread out from the machine shop, doing calibrations, doing installation of probes into the CMM labs, and understanding the challenges that they got and the supply, because of course there were supply shortages. The distributors were not that engaged, saying, oh, I only want this tiny part of the machine. I don't know, I'm gonna get $1,000 or something like that. It's not worth it. It's not worth the time, etc. So I said, hey, I take it. You know? I take it. So, but when you do that in volume, that's when you know it makes sense, and that's what happened. So it was this kind of like a niche type of opportunity. I say no one is taking Renishaw as a main line, or taking Renishaw quite seriously in making a very good business case. So, of course, when Renishaw UK got involved into this, of course, you know, you're looking at a big, wide corporation with over 5,000 employees in over 35 countries, with plus 85 offices around the world, and with this monster of resource, you get this. And of course, that has been built thanks to the amazing support from our customers. That you know, that's the motto of Renishaw. So we are always for the service and to help them to solve the most complex manufacturing problems they can face, and that's us. You know?
I feel like there's another microphone drop moment.
Yes.
Can we do that real quick? Let me grab this fella. We've already done this once.
Okay.
Yeah, just,
excellent.
That's a microphone.
Just
just
like
drop it. Yeah.
Come on.
There it is. That's another moment for sure. Well said. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. But you are now on the podcast, Panther. But please sit down and join us. She thought it was over, and she got suckered into being on the podcast.
Yeah.
We got her now. We got her now. All right, Fernanda. I know you have a follow-up for Alex also.
I will touch base in some points that you mentioned, because I want you to say something. First is,
You see how she manipulates us?
Yes,
I want you to say
I want
something.
to say something.
She does that to me all the time.
it's like some things that you mentioned were like the companies before were treating Renishaw as a side product, not as the main one. The other thing is the service you got. And based on these things, I know that there are companies, very success stories that you have that have been reduced their production times, like even 60%.
Yes.
Thanks to your products.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about these case studies, some very nice case studies on how Renishaw can help us improve our time?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, we have many. We have many stories.
How long do we have, right?
Yeah, I know. How long do you want to keep sitting here?
It's a whole new podcast now. We're starting fresh.
Oh, exactly. We have until 7 now.
I hope you have time.
Yeah, well, there's many stories, Fernanda. So, I mean, one of them that I can think of really quick, it was in the beginnings, that, so we have this customer that they use probe, they have a big machine, a horizontal boring mill, right? So it's a big machine, and they were using the probe, they already have the probe, you know? So they were trying to automate the process. So in the beginning, they were doing by hand. So it was a big metal piece, big chamber of aluminum casting, something like that. And they were trying to align the part, but they were doing it with a hammer. So they have a digital gauge. So they have a gauge, you know, that they run with a spindle, and they saw how was the variation, and then the variation is more here. Pop, pop, pop. They gave it some hammer, and they took like 2 hours just to get that in place.
I used to do that.
Yeah, you used to do that. Yeah,
I'm having flashbacks right now of my machining days. Thanks for that.
So it took them like 2 hours to do that. then after they it was kind of like set up, they ended up doing the machining. But then the machine time was 22 hours just for machine the whole part. Imagine that something happens at hour number 10, the tool breaks, you know, then you don't get all the borings that are left on the part. So they had also the tool setter, you know, but they don't know how to use it. So when we came in, we teach them how to use the probe, you know. We slash the time from 2 hours to 1.5 minutes.
Wow.
From 2 hours to 1.5 minutes, completely automated. And it was something very simple. It was simple, the technology was there. Actually, the probe was old. I mean, the probe was from the late 80s, really. But we made it work. We teach them how to use it. 1.5 minutes, set up the part. When they did all the programming for cutting, we said, okay, but I want like tool number 6, always breaks. Okay, well, tool number 6, when you finish the machining, go and check. You know, start, do the machining, check. It's there, it's not there. You know, oh no, you know what? It's not there. Put an alarm, and that saved them because that part cost about, I don't know, $35,000 each. So I mean, it was extensive work, and we help them with that thing. We save them, I don't know, 2 parts for scrap per month. Wow, it's about $70,000 just applying the probe on savings, just for it, plus the time savings. So that was one of the things that we get involved. We help the customer with something that they already had. So we didn't sell anything other than, you know, help them with the programming and teaching them. But it's one of the things that the customer at the end, you know what, you know your thing, and we go for you with any machining product we got. And that's the thing that we go after with our customers. It's trying to help them. No matter if we sell or we become a transaction in anything, it's just trying to understand the problem. If we can help you, or we know a technology can help you, we can direct you with someone else, or us or ourselves, if that's the case.
Can I share a unsuccessful story with you?
Yeah.
The complete opposite of what you just described?
Okay, come on.
When I was a machinist, here we go again, I had to punch hundreds of holes into large pipe. We did not have a Renishaw probe, and I would sometimes get about halfway through and something would happen. Do you know what I had to do in order to set up again, which took a long time?
What?
Rotate a drill in or an end mill that was the same diameter as my hole, slowly jog it into my hole, rotate my pipe to fit it perfectly, slowly lock down my vices because it had shifted from the last time I broke it or something like that. I had to do it slowly because if I did it quickly, I would snap my end mill or my drill that I was touching off with. So I had to do it slowly to make sure nothing broke. This was a lot of downtime, and I did break end mills from time to time as well. And then, thankfully, it didn't need to be within microns, it needed to be within thousandths. But after time, I would finally get that hole lined up again. But it was almost never perfect. It was such a mess, and the company was so cheap, and I would ask them, am I allowed to cuss in front of your headquarters? Because I know they're gonna see this, right?
Yeah.
I was told by my boss, keep turning chicken shit into chicken salad. I was told that because they weren't going to invest in anything. But that was the manufacturing world I came from. And when I hear these stories of success that you just described, this is what everyone should do. Not just the ones with a 22-hour program, but everyone. When you talk about reducing stress and reducing time and reducing scrap, this is how you pay for things so quickly. You no longer have to worry about whatever that upfront cost is. It's all about understanding how to make it work for you and then applying it to your shop. And with service and support like this, with countries around the world, you can rely on them, and you've embraced the technology. It's no longer an accessory, it's a product that you believe in. And that's why you're so successful here.
Thank you. And then it is, I mean, you cannot drive a machine tool, or you cannot drive any CMM without understanding if your part is gonna be right or wrong. If it's gonna be a scrap or if it's gonna be great, you know, you have to understand it. You know, there's no way you can actually machine without a probe.
Yeah.
Period.
Not these days.
Not these
I
days.
was the paper guy.
That was in the old ages.
It was about 20 years ago at
Yeah.
this point.
It wasn't that far away.
But I was the paper guy. All right, we're gonna bring this thing to a close as my voice is starting to completely disappear. We did somehow capture Fatima. We did not script that, I swear to you, but it makes sense to bring the first guest back on for the last guest. And what we've been doing all day, guys, is a closing statement. It can be your motto, it can be your personal home address. We haven't done that yet today.
No.
Social security number. No, but it could be your website, a motto, a closing statement, whatever you want in English or Spanish. Alex, we'll start with you. Fatima, we started the whole show with you, so we'll finish with you as well. But Alex, any closing statements, English or Spanish for everyone watching?
Excellent. Well, but thank you very much for this interview, for the podcast, for MTDCNC. Of course, you guys have been doing an amazing job. And here, here in Renishaw, everyone is welcome. We apply innovation every day, and every day we do in your lives. Yes.
Appreciate you. Fatima, you've been sitting around for the last 4 hours after we let you go, just sending me people on the pod. I think you were starting to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then, do another one. Do another one.
Why not? Why not? No, I'm gonna do it in Spanish, Muchas gracias por ver este podcast. Nos da mucho gusto tenerlos aquí en Renishaw y visiten nuestra página en LinkedIn, Renishaw México y renishaw.mx.
Was it good?
Yeah.
That was
Excellent.
good. That was now.
All right.
Come visit the website. Excellent.
We are done. This is the Gunn Show. This is hours of it, and I know I've done it once today, but because we're done, we are done. Bad dancing again. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you again soon.